It is now that time. Hmm. See how far I can get. Lost my audio. All right. Hope everybody's doing well. Got beer in my hand. Rough day at work. Looking forward to joining my people, my citizens. I think I'm gonna get on Discord and shout out to some people. So I might need rescuing from Grimhex. F12, get rid of the chat box. Gotta go to the elevators down there. I think I hit the button. There we go. Excellent. Well, howdy, stranger. How are you doing? Well, let's just spawn something cheap and inexpensive. Fly away in. I don't know if it's gonna work. Looking for my Herald. There it is.
Your ship has been delivered to the following landing pad.
Excellent. Number 5. The engines look a little strange. I don't know if they're there or not. We'll see. Righty. Must be my chair. Yeah, I gotta grab the HOTOP. Once again, I have no idea if I gotta remap everything or not.
Hello and
I'm
welcome
just
aboard your
hoping.
Drake interplanetary craft. Your systems are online. Launch complete.
Well, the stick's not bound to the right axis. So, I need to go here and play Stick Commander. Love playing Stick Commander. Well, it looks like the joystick moved to number 3. Hopefully it stays there for a week or so. And I'm seriously gonna get blown up by people while I'm setting up my stick. That's awesome. You know, you just gotta love it. You know, there's never any shortage of grievers. So I guess the pedals stayed at 2. And the joystick changed to 3. And the throttle. What is the throttle? Okay, the throttle's also 3, so it's sharing. Okay. I don't have to change that. Just gotta change the sticks. Let me see.
Your front shield
I might
is
get this done in time to get blown up here. I wonder if the guy shooting at me feels like a hero shooting at a ship that's not moving.
Weapons, power is running low. Engines, power is running low.
Nice. I can only imagine that the guy's like the worst pilot in the world. Because I haven't even been flying my ship. And I'm not blown up yet. So this guy's gotta be like, I don't know what. Maybe it's AI. It's gotta be AI. No real person could be that bad. The joy of Star Citizen. Setting buttons. It's pretty much all I've ever done. Set buttons. And then in a week or so, my joysticks flop. This doesn't remember for some reason my stick numbers. So it gets like tomorrow when I log on and the stick could be like number 4 or front number 5. Alright, we're getting close. We're getting really close. I'm probably setting shit I really don't need at this point in time. But I'm going to be optimistic that my sticks aren't going to swap sides anymore. Because miracles happen. Alright. Looks good to me. Yeah, the pedals didn't switch, so I shouldn't have to redo my axis. Alright. So we're in a little tiny Herald. We got the joystick going on. It is time to go to the Mobiglass station. And I'm in Yellow Grimhex and I want to get the hell out of here. We'll zoom out. Is this Port Olisar? No, that's Cryastro. Here we go, we'll go to Port Olisar. Got our destination set. Close this. And I'd like to get an idea where I'm going here. Find the marker. Oh, it's right there. I see it.
Landing gear up.
Landing gear up. Excellent.
Quantum drive is now on.
In an hour, I'll be doing the Star Citizen news. We'll be going over some YouTube videos, open for discussion.
Quantum drive is now off.
All right. I'm in my little Herald. Could have sworn that somebody was beating down our ship. It sure sounded like it when I was setting my buttons. I was starting to get upset about somebody for nothing. Oh, looks like I'm upside down.
Landing gear down.
Ship makes weird noises. Makes a lot of weird noises. It like creaks. Alright. Let's try to talk to these guys and get some permissions to land. Oh, they still haven't put it up on top. So because I got 200 friends on my friends list, every time I go to talk to a base, I have to scroll down through 200 names to get to the base, when it would be so much easier to program the base to pop up on the very top.
Please proceed to assigned landing bay.
And the X doesn't work to exit out of the thing, which is annoying. Which would be great if it did work. Oh, there's a little green marker telling me that that's my pad there.
Warning, you are blocking an active flight lane. Please vacate the vicinity.
I'm not blocking anything. I have successfully escaped from Grim Hex. I've been there for a while because my ships were spawning with no engines, and no engines suck.
Welcome to the Port Olisar ship deck. Please press the screen to continue.
I can't wait for Port Olisar to go away.
Left unattended on launch platforms will be returned.
Just want it to go away.
This station has been designated as an armistice zone. Tampering with weapon safety protocols is strictly forbidden. We advise guests, please use caution upon exiting the armistice zone, as weapons will once again become active.
Gotta reclaim all my ships that I tried to escape from Grim Hex with, that I spawned, and swear to God, dude, I'd spawn them and they didn't have no engines.
Organization system.
It was so frustrating.
Vehicles. To access your craft, consult one of the terminals located throughout the station. This station is a proud member of the Ship Share program, encouraging travelers to save resources and fly together. Please be considerate and avoid obstructing airlocks. Thank you for your assistance.
Damn.
Space may be lonely, but you don't
Dude, it was a lot of ships.
save on resources and expenses. Join the Ship Share program today and fly together. We kindly ask that guests exit airlocks as it is safe to do so.
The X don't work here either.
To prevent traffic,
Alrighty.
all arrivals
I'm gonna go fill up my coffee and I'll be right back. And then we'll go fly around. All right, I'm back. Unfortunately, Kiba, my wolf husky, came down here too with me. So if he makes noise, that's sorry. Alright, what do I want to do?
Press the screen to continue. For your convenience, our automated ship
I wanted to spawn ships and see if they have engines now.
To access your craft, consult one of the terminals located out the station.
Your ship has been delivered to the following landing pad.
So how is everybody going in chat? Is everybody excited for 3.3 to be coming? Should be around Christmas time, I think, or maybe sooner. Turn the music on. I don't know what was I doing. Okay. I'm like one of them people that can't think without music. I'm driven by the music. In a month, so that would be October, Halloween. Yeah, I like Halloween. I got something for Halloween. Show you. Let's see. Go to my trusty dashboard. Halloween. Haha. I like Halloween. I can't tell if it's got... Yay, they got engines. This is most excellent. Okay, and let me see, the Razor didn't have engines too. I gotta check my Razor. Sorry to be so lame, but damn, I've been trying to play the game for a while and my ships kept coming with no parts. And it was frustrating. So hopefully I'll get some org mates and we'll do some shenanigans this Sunday. Nighthawk will be streaming, or maybe I'll stream and Nighthawk will stream. We'll do something together.
Please press the screen to continue. We advise again. Please use caution when exiting the armor.
Let's see, a Razor EX. This is the other one I had problems with.
Your ship has been delivered to the following landing pad.
Means you've got to be smarter than ever at figuring ways to fix the meals your families want, especially since you don't have. Well, the smartest thing to do is to get extra points by turning in waste packs. You know, your meat dealer will give you cash and 2 red points for every pound you turn in. So get going. You'll be doing yourself a favor and your country an important service.
I'm a retard.
To the port only
I went the wrong way.
Please press the screen to continue.
Ladies, there's still
a shortage of fats to make soap. So save and sell every pound of used kitchen fats. And remember, you get
So is there a ship list for 3.3 yet
so keep saving it and keep
that anybody's aware of?
fat make soap. So don't waste.
Maybe something that might be linkable for when I do the news later?
Ladies and gentlemen, may I call a spade and stop being...
I went the wrong way.
When this war came, our soldiers left their homes to defend yours. You stayed comfortably in your own home during the war with a roof over your head. They lived in foxholes, if they lived. Now, these veterans can't find homes to live in. Remember, if it weren't for them leaving their homes to protect yours, you might not have yours right now. So give them a break, will you? Good night.
Yay, it's got engines now. Holy crap, I'm gonna be able to play Star Citizen. Finally. Alright. That was chore one, was to get off of Grim Hex, because I swear to God I've been stuck there for 2 weeks. And I would, like every 3 or 4 days I would log on and spawn my ships, and everything I spawned had no engine or had no doors or something. The Mustang rework, the Cyclone variants, the Hammerhead. Are you serious? The Hammerhead's coming? No. I'm gonna have a heart attack right now. Serious? Hammerhead. On the roadmap. So, you know, I'm one of the people that's totally given up on the site. So that would be not Spectrum, not support. Oh God. The Star Citizen website. Oh God, it's painful. Okay. All. No. No. Merchandise. A million ways to spend your money. But where's the information? There was like a section that you would click on and it would be like a portal with all the news and stuff in it. Man, it looks like they did away with it and turned it into this bar up here maybe. Going on, but it's all sales and stuff. Okay, here we go. Let's bookmark this. And we're gonna add it to the news folder. So when I do the news, I'll have this link here. Ships and vehicles. Holy shit. And the Phoenix too? Seriously? Well, that's interesting. You have to excuse me for not knowing every ship I have. I want to make sure I still have a few things. Let's see. Bigger. So I want to find a hammerhead would be standalone. Medvac Dragon. Yes. Yes. We have that. Okay, I think I have a Nyx too, but it's part of the package. Uh-oh. Where's my Green Machine package? This ain't right. I'm missing like thousands of dollars of the ships. I'm about to get upset. Oh. Why is it here? And doesn't show up in the packages. I was about ready to get really upset, man. I was just like, where's my ships? Oh wait, so yes, I do have the Phoenix. Excellent. Excellent. We got 35 minutes before I do the news. You want to go over some 2080 Ti stuff, Fiat, before the Star Citizen news? Or would you rather not go into some hardware before that and you'd rather watch me play some type of game or something for 30 minutes? Your guys' dime. You guys tell me what you want to do. You guys want to look at hardware on YouTube before the Star Citizen news? Or do you guys want to watch me play? I don't know. I got a lot of games. Play something. I did order a 2080 Ti. And I do have to take it apart to water cool it when it gets here. Four hours ago. I didn't see this.
A little bit of a history there.
Yeah. No thanks.
Okay, we should be live any moment.
Okay. I'm going to tweet that we're both live.
Oh yeah, tweeting.
That we're live to both YouTube and
I'm gonna skip through it.
Twitch.
Starting the show off right.
Yep. Hello, everyone. Hopefully you can hear us and see us loud and clear. This is Awesome Hardware, episode 162. You're watching Side A. In about half an hour or so, we'll be switching gears to Paul's half on his YouTube channel. So you can follow the link in my video description. Problem with that?
I just want to hear about the video card.
Starting with, that's reserved for custom cards designed to device IDs.
Okay.
Because they're green. All right.
Some broccoli
It's
there.
very, very creative, highly creative segment I thought about all
like
all
Green
last night.
stuff.
All right, so there's a lot of things going on with NVIDIA, of course, with the RTX launch coming up and stuff like that. Starting with this article from Tech Power Up. They did some digging recently, and while they were testing their RTX cards with GPU-Z, they found that, well, I guess I should read the headline first. NVIDIA has been segregating, or they will be segregating their Turing GPUs, some of which can be factory overclocked by the board partner or the end user, or by the board partner, or, and they'll also be making some SKUs, some ASICs that do not support factory overclocking. It's completely forbidden. So
Segregation.
it's interesting. Segregation, yeah. Segregation
racist.
is not something that is usually something we frown upon in today's society. But look at this, NVIDIA segregating things that may or may not should be.
What's the
may or may
difference
not be
between these
segregated.
various variants of these
So,
CPU?
so they
GPUs?
noticed on their RTX 2080 Ti that it had two device IDs. And device ID basically tells Windows which software to load for a specific model of card. It tells the driver which commands to send to the card based on that ID. So most cards, actually all NVIDIA cards in the past, have only carried one device ID per SKU. But the RTX 2080 Ti and apparently the RTX 2080 have two device IDs on each one. So it's very peculiar. And what Tech Power Up discovered is that these two IDs correspond to two different ASIC codes per GPU model. So there's the TU-102-300, which is designed to be used on cards targeting the MSRP. So this is more like entry-level cards that are a bit more lower priced and maybe don't have factory overclocking out of the box. And then there's the TU-102-300A. That A at the end is the big differentiator there. That's reserved for custom cards designed for overclocking. So your Asus ROG Strix OC model, your EVGA for the win, or a super clock models.
What that means in the hardware world is that NVIDIA did what's calling chip binning. So when they go to make these chips, if the conditions are perfectly met and all the conditions are tracked throughout the process, like the room, from room temperature to the quality of the silicon that was used that day, everything, they write it all down. So they already know what GPU dies are most probably going to be the good ones. And then they literally go through those chips that they think are good and they test them. And if they test to a certain level, they go into the A bin. Intel doesn't, and AMD doesn't. They say that they don't, but just recently we know they did, because they saved all the really good 8700K chips and they just released them as their anniversary chip and put a different number on it because it's the exact same chip, except for it just overclocks a little bit higher. So NVIDIA is putting the A chips in the Founders cards, and the people that buy the chips from them to make the other cards, they're buying the lesser chips, and if they want to pay extra for the A chip that's not locked and the manufacturer can overclock, then they can pay extra and get the A chip and then sell an overclocked version of their card, like Asus and places like that. So basically they just made more money for nothing.
That all come factory overclocked. Those have a specific ASIC now and a specific device ID that corresponds to that GPU, letting the system know and the driver know that this card can be factory overclocked. It won't be possible without that A SKU on your GPU. Both are the same physical chip. I should reiterate that. It's just one has been binned for overclocking, better.
So you need to be real careful when you buy your video card.
Yeah,
Make
that's
sure
not to
it's
say
not
don't
locked.
get too worried about that because you'll still be able to manually overclock either SKU, or either device ID.
Really?
Either piece. That should be noted. But the board partners just won't be able to tune the non-A device ID parts. The other thing
Looks
to note
like
here that
half
the article
lock.
mentioned is that this could prevent, potentially, didn't confirm, but it could potentially prevent end users from taking buying like a cheaper entry-level priced card at MSRP and then flashing it with like a custom factory overclocked card's BIOS in order to take advantage of those higher clock speeds. That may not be possible with a specific device ID.
But if you can manually overclock, then that. I feel like that's a little bit more advanced than manually overclocking. So if you can still manually over, my question would be is
might
if
just
they've
override it.
been to the point where the dash A variant can be overclocked. So if you have a non,
I don't think they really know yet.
Is that a binned chip that underperforms? Like are the dash A ones all overperforming binned GPUs?
Yes.
Yep.
All the dash A's are apparently bin. So I guess what the article
No,
is
so
saying is
they're better. So they're better.
they're way better.
All right.
Which I guess sort of confirms that NVIDIA has been binning every single Turing GPU that they manufacture, at least for TU102 and TU104. Those are all being binned by NVIDIA, and then they're sending them off into two camps: the A SKUs for overclocking and the non-A SKUs for your basic bitch models. Basically.
Okay.
So that's that. You guys, let us know what you think about that. Is this blasphemy?
I'm
to gamers
definitely getting
everywhere, or
the
does this
higher
not
grade
really
one.
make much of a difference? I could see it being a bummer for people who have traditionally flashed their cards with a fancy BIOS or something
or
like
for
that.
people who looked for a bargain by buying the base clocked versions of the card and then overclocking it themselves. Like it sounds like you're gonna
Right.
have to buy an overclocked version of the card already to get the GPU that overclocks the best.
Yes, absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
anyway,
Yep. True.
moving on.
Moving on, more in green stuff. NVIDIA Shield TV now supports 120 hertz and ups the Wi-Fi bandwidth for their GeForce Now streaming application. So this new upgrade, it was.
Okay, so we saw that. And then the card that I ordered. Let me see, it's well, they took it down. Well, here it is right here. Pre-order. I got this one right here. The Founders Edition. And then I ordered an Alpha Cool cooler. Check this out. Here. Try to get the English version. Otherwise we'll be scratching our heads. It's an Essie Wolf. I didn't even know these things existed. But it's a closed water loop just for your graphics card. Right here. I got this on. It's coming from Germany too. I mean, let's see. Pro. See nothing. Blank site. Hopefully I didn't lose my internet. Alright. I got scared. I was like, oh my god, I lost my internet. Okay, it's such a new product, they don't have it. Oh, I literally called them and asked them when they were coming out with it. I'm going to get one of the first units. And basically, mine's a double radiator, and it's got this big block. So I'm going to buy that expensive graphics card, and then I got to rip it apart, void the warranty, throw this cooler on it, and then we're going to overclock the shit out of it. Just because that's what I like to do. And let me see. What else was in the news? Hardware wise.
Hey everyone, we're back for another teardown, this time of the 2080 Ti.
So this is what I gotta do in this video right here. He's gonna get to these screws. And this is gonna be painful. I'm gonna run the card in my system for like a week. Test it out, maybe longer, and then I'm gonna take a vacation weekend and I'm gonna go to Canada, and I'm gonna visit Nubifier, and I'm gonna let Nubifier do it. Make a video of putting the cooler on it, or at least that's the plan. If it really happens, I don't know. I sent away for my passport so I could cross the Canadian border. I'm still waiting for my passport. But yeah, he's gonna... I want to watch this for about 10 minutes, and then after that we'll do something else.
With regard to all the different mounting hardware they use, it's a lot of different screw sizes, totally unnecessary, but it's part of their shishi high-end wannabe design that they go with. So let's just start taking it apart. This one should be pretty straightforward overall. We'll start with some Phillips action and get the cold plate loosened up, but we're not going to completely remove it yet. Most likely underneath these small screws on the other side, they're probably screwing into another screw. That's typically what NVIDIA does. And this card is going to be complex enough that we will be tracking the screw removal on our mod mat, which you can grab on store.gamersnexus.net if you'd like to pick up your own, because there are a lot of screws, so we want to make sure we get them all back in the same spot. For reassembly, we're not going to go over that in this video, but just as I note, these tiny screws that I'm taking out right now, these are extremely easy to break. They use Loctite to mount them. So if you are
I don't have to worry about the screws because I'm not putting them back. I just got to take it apart.
it'll probably snap at the stem, so don't do that. Just turn it until it stops and do not go any further with these. So that's all the small screws so far, and let's count those up. We have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 of the really small screws just laid out. This is how they go back in. This is our anti-static mod mat. It's got a layout of the GPU so we can easily track where they go. And again, is on store.gamersnexus.net if you want to pick one up. They're on back order coming in this week, I think, or the next, so they should be shipping out soon. So let's loosen the rest of these 4 big screws. These are the spring retention screws for the cooler and the cold plate. And you'll see that these are not coming straight out, unlike cards past, which would indicate they're, well, it might come out. It's got like a washer or a hook on the other end of it, so we're going to leave that alone and take off the rest of the back plate first if we can, and then see if there's something holding those in, because I haven't taken this apart yet. So you are seeing the screws.
So this computer right here is a computer that's going to get the 2080 Ti and the water cooler. I'm going to run the dual radiator to this spot right here. And this right here is Tiamat, my i9 server. That's my NAS dryer. And then all this stuff plugs into my cockpit.
And the locations for the first time with me today.
Well, thank you for following me. I appreciate it.
Okay.
So
this
I'm building
backplate
like
is a little bit
an
insane.
empire.
I'll show you why.
For streaming and doing all this stuff, and I just do one night a week right now for the Star Citizen News, and it's basically just to keep committed while I'm building up everything. I'm taking Noobifier's advice. I mean, and you know, you got to be well thought out, and you gotta build the foundation. You know, and the foundation's got to be strong. It's got to hold it up. So if I just went off and started streaming every day, I would never get to where I want to be, because I'd have to work on all this equipment and get everything the way I want it. So I need to just do one day a week until I get everything to the level I want it, and then I'll get rid of the wolf mask, and then I'll actually put my face on it. You know what I mean? When everything's the way it needs to be. I mean, I don't really have all my effects in right now, but just to give you an idea of some of the things that I'm capable of. I mean, the things I got going on here are so extreme that it's gonna be interesting. Wow. And then, you know, I'm to the point where, you know, I can like hit a button and I can
change my voice, and you know, like I got radio distortion going on right now. And you know,
I can go and be the Dark Emperor. You know, I can
be Space Squirrel, man. We can do the Space Squirrel. And
you know, we can do celestial ghost voices all day long to our voice, you know, content and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, I just want to have like every button and every feature that I could ever think of already done, and then I want to start streaming every day. That way, when I think of something, it's already there.
In a moment. Here's why it's insane. It looks like a whole lot of metal, especially when you look from here, because that looks awfully thick. But in reality, it's a very thin sheet, and you can see that here too. And it even feels plasticky, but it is in fact metal, aluminum. It's got this glossy coating on the inside to prevent any shorts between SMDs that might touch the back plate if some legs poked through or you lost a thermal pad or something. And thermal pads and all.
Did you notice how cheap that back plate is? How you think it's like substantial because of this little lip it's got on there? That is so cheap. Thank God I'm pulling that off and putting a real metal plate on the back of mine.
All the key areas. So we have a thermal pad on the back side of the inductor line over here. We have thermal pads on the back side of the memory, which is...
Yeah, I stream on Tuesday nights, and I do the news, and I try to do Sundays, and I'm working into Sundays. Sundays is going to be me and my org. I'm in... enemy contact with Noob and the rest of the guys, and we're gonna start showing our faces on Sunday for my stream. But I want to say it's going to start this weekend, and I want it to, but I still got so much work on the other computer to make everything perfect that it's probably going to be a couple more weeks.
Fairly common, but not as common as it should be. A thermal pad on the backside of the GPU core itself, and then thermal pads on this side, which is probably an extension of
I'm not streaming a game right now, but if you look at my stream and then you look at other people's stream, you'll notice that my stream's not blocky or blurry. That's because of that big i9 computer that does all the encoding.
Cover that NVIDIA was very proud of. There's the back plate, not very advanced, but has lots of thermal pads on it, so it should actually get used, so that's good. Okay, and then these screws now are coming out easily, so they were just caught on the back side of the back plate. And as called out, it's exactly the same approach as previous FE cards. So NVIDIA is using a set of small hex heads that the small Phillips heads thread into. We'll find out what size that is momentarily. Yep, same size as previously. I believe that would be a 4. That's a 4mm hex driver. So we have an equal amount of these to pull out, something like 14, something like that. And each one corresponds with one of the smaller screws on the other side. These are going into the base plate as well of the card on the top cooler side. Okay, that should be all of the 4mm hex screws. So at this point we have some screws in the I/O plate, and it looks like some of those might go into the shroud. Not 100% clear on that, but typically they don't. So let's try removing it first. If it doesn't come off, there are 2 more screws exposed in here, by the way.
Man, Noob Fire's going to have fun taking all that crap off this
should
card.
Just be for separating some of the internal components of the shroud and the base plate. So we're going to try and leave everything else alone right now and just see if the card will separate. Actually, can already tell it's not, because this needs to come off. So next step is to remove then
I'd do it myself, but me spending all that money on the card, I'd be too
PCIe
nervous.
expansion cover. And for that, we have...
I'd rather just close my eyes until it's done.
Into the base plate, and a couple that just go into the I/O areas. So we got 2, 3, 4 probably in the base plate.
That's got a USB-C on the back of it for virtual reality headsets.
There's the cover removed.
So you don't have to have a bunch of wires.
Which apparently says MO1TO1. Not sure what the meaning of that is, but that's the manufacturing stamp. A whole lot of thermal pads on this. Hell of a lot of thermal pads. I think NVIDIA called EVGA for help with this design.
That's as far as I got to take it right
thermal
there.
Pads they have here. Here's what we've got. We've got one ribbon cable for everything. So that's fans, that's asynchronous fan control, it's LEDs, all that stuff. All in one. It looks like we have...
Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9, 10. About 20 screws on the back. And that was like 6 screws in the, like 26 screws. And then it's finally apart and I can put that cooler on there. Alright, where are we at with the time frame? Damn, we got 10 minutes to officially the news starts. I could try to start my my NAS through my other computer. I don't know if it's gonna work though. This could crash the stream. If it does, I'll be right back. But this could crash the stream. Because this is through my network. This is a network hard drive that I'm gonna try to access to show something. And I never accessed it while streaming. This could get scary. But you only live once. So let's try it. Oh, I hope this works. I'm afraid. Uh-oh. Something's happening. Has it crashed the stream? Am I still streaming? This is a project I've been working on. So I got this like network drive. I can access this like over the internet. Oh, it doesn't show up. Cause I got my resolution's all different, so it's not displaying correctly. But it's all these systems I got on here. Wow. Wonder why it doesn't show up correctly. Try the other way. The back end instead of the front end. So as I said, this isn't really a hard drive. This is like through a box that's connected to the internet in my house. It's called a NAS, Network Attached Storage Device. And I got like 10 terabytes of pretty much game videos and all the information about all the games. Said another instance of Launchbox is still going. Hopefully it'll launch this. And this isn't anything that I bought, okay? There's like, I don't know, there's like 200 programs involved in this project, like that other people wrote, and I combined them all and set them all up. So this is something I'll be doing on the stream too, is playing games by request. See if I can get you a better view of what's on here. There we go. Bigger. Yes. Alright, so on this column here that you probably can't see anything is pretty much every system in the world. Like if I wanted to play let's say old school Atari 2600, I should be able to come in here and find the game, click on it and play it. Like this is what I had when I was a kid. This is one of my first consoles. But it won't play because I don't have any of the files and stuff loaded yet. But I got all the art for them all. So basically, I'll be able to, like, Sony PlayStation, I'll be able to put all my PlayStation games in here. Like all the games that I own. I can't play the ones I don't own, but the ones I do own, I'll be able to put in here. But I have all the artwork for pretty much all the games. Man, I wish they worked. I tried making them work, but I'm not there yet. I got a lot more code to work out. But this is the plan, to get all this stuff working. I mean, I got most of the games. I just don't. I just gotta finish it. Just see, I got all these projects, dude. Crazy, crazy, crazy projects. And then because I got that NAS drive, I decided that I was gonna put my whole Steam library on there, and that ended up being like 2 terabytes, and it was crazy. So it looks like I got 3 minutes before the news. I'm gonna play some footage. I started some coffee a little while ago, as we know, when I took my break. I'm gonna go fill up my coffee. We'll come down and do the news. Go to my YouTube here. And I took some beautiful, beautiful 600i footage. And I'm gonna play some music for everybody here. And you guys can check this out, and I'll be right back with my coffee, and we will take a deep dive into the Star Citizen news. So it looks like I might have lost like desktop audio. Because I'm not hearing any music. So I don't know what to do here. The heck happened? I know I got my mic. I can see that working. We got But we got no desktop audio. Which really don't make sense. Oh, here it is. Oh. Okay, it makes sense now. The audio source jumped.
Now, I was going to do this when it first came out, but when it was in the hangar, the legs were in the floor. But now I can land it out here and obviously use it as well in the PU. We can take a look around.
I knew it was going to do weird
also
things.
talk about the
stream.
ship and sort of talk about some of the good and the bad points.
But
of the
thank
ship
God,
as well. Now,
it's all better now. Okay, it is time for me to get my crap together. Do the news. So, with no further ado, we'll roll it.
Can stop me.
All right. Today in Star Citizen News, we have Kyle Hans, the creator of Star Citizen. No, it's my sound manager. And we need to give him recognition. Never really met him in real life, only on the internet. He's a really nice guy. His name's Kyle Hans. He made a bunch of sound effects for me. And he does good work. And here's a link to his YouTube. If you guys want to like, follow, subscribe after checking him out and making sure that's what you want to do. He's been making these beats of his own creation. And I stress that, of his own creation. This is him. So we are going to pick one and listen to it. Just to pay tribute to my sound manager. So, R&B, rap. Let's pick the one with the kid on it.
Yo. Lyrically, I'm a spirit wing. When fear is king, that searing heat. A defeat is my heartbeat, measured in darkness. Scepter I can't hear it sing. Feeling thing, heartless regardless. Start to remark on the pain and the hardship. Born with a gift, not a tree with a partridge. Came from the mud and survived all the carnage. Revealing the shattering ceiling. Growing is living, you die if you chilling. People that love you still lying the illest. Limit the sky, you should ride with the realest. Chunk up the deuce if you ride when you feel us. Show you the truth, no disguise cause it's quillers. Stronger than shots from 1,000 gorillas. Everything new, you should know what the deal is. Shot like a bezel, ain't have a baguette. Ink from my soul like a tat on my neck. Drops on the phone and cashing a check. Something from nothing, I'm hashing a bet. No time to settle, we pushing the limit. Rhyming is relative, flow to infinite. Don't mess with the haters and dollars and critics. Show us some love so we know that you with it. Social ladders with the aspen adders. Rungs are greasy, lungs are wheezy. Stomach queasy cause the plummet's easy. Summit sleepy, gasping for O2. Secretive smiles are code too. I see the poachers in boat shoes. Float to the ocean and gulp shoot. Waves are choppy, current cocky. Swim at the sharks like I'm supposed to. It's time to watch who you close to. All of the shadows exposed to. Calling the play like a coach do. Now we live in that's NHL. Refusing to love is a living hell. Essence my soul that I didn't sell. Roll the boat when it didn't sail. tale, bespoke the name. Lived in hell, survived the flames. Lived the tale, bespoke the name. Lived in hell, survived the flames. Lived the tale. Whoa. Shine like a bezel, ain't have a baguette. Inks on my soul like a tat on my neck. Drafts on the phone, ain't cashing a check. Something from nothing, I'm hashing a bet. No time to settle, we pushing the limit. Rhyming is relative, flow to infinite. Don't mess with the haters and doubters and critics. Show us some love so we know that you with it.
All right, here we go.
Hey guys, Youngblood with you to cover the Q&A post from CIG regarding the Crusader Mercury Star Runner ship, which is the one that's on sale
I gotta let
right
the dog
now,
out.
and is the ship that's kind of a combination of a cargo ship, a data runner, and supposedly a smuggler. So let's go ahead and start with the questions that we get on all of these, which is the category I like to call the this versus that. And when asked if the Mercury can outperform the Terrapin equally or better at the scanning type of gameplay, CIG said that with the Terrapin being a dedicated scanning ship, it's going to end up being the better scanning ship, and that methodologies would typically apply across the board, with dedicated ships almost always performing better than multi-role ships in their designed field. Now, the other thing to note here is that the Mercury is more designed to collect local communication traffic, and that's about it. While the Terrapin is able to look longer range, focus on certain areas, pick up more than just communications, and identify lower signatures. Now, when looking at speed and other ships in the size range, the Mercury has lighter armor and less weapons, so the community was asking if it should be faster than ships like the Cutlass, and why it's not much faster than the Freelancer. Well, we got the standard answer that things can change, but the general rule is that as ships get bigger, they get slower. So based on it being between the Lancer and the Cutlass, the speed is going to fall in between those as well, even though that may end up being adjusted later. Now, I'm not really a fan of that model because, one, it's kind of watered down, and two, a bigger ship that has more larger engines should still have the ability to be faster than a smaller ship. It just comes down to mass and output and all that kind of stuff. So that's something I hope we see change over time. Then we start looking at questions like data running, and it was mentioned that the Herald is going to have an electronic warfare utility suite, and it was asked if the Mercury would be able to get that too, to which we hear that it's not part of the ship's roadmap at this time, and that's really more for ships like the Herald and the Sentinel. Now, they did clarify, not in any detail though, that the electronic warfare package is not a requirement for hacking data and ships. So I think it's worth pointing out here that there's some differences between data stealing and electronic warfare. And we haven't seen much on eWar in a while, but that being said, there was a design post years back detailing what they had in mind. Hacking should be something that can be accomplished with good computers on board and skilled players, assuming you have the appropriate communication equipment on your ship. It's really about getting in, hopefully undetected, and getting the data you want to get and then run. Additionally, you could potentially get access to ship systems through hacking and maybe cause some issues. Now, when you start talking about more of like electronic warfare, that crosses into more aggressive options like data spike missiles that can be launched and connect to the enemy ship to gain control and wreak havoc, plus other things like spoofing radar signatures to make it seem like there's a lot of other ships around, or potentially blocking and jamming everything that's in the area so they don't have any idea what's actually happening. Now, I think the two kind of gameplays run side by side in a way, but they aren't exactly the same thing. I think the Mercury is really going to fall more in the data theft category than the more electronic, aggressive style warfare. Now, as we exit the ship v ship category, we get down to specifics about the Mercury, like if we can expect it to be fast-tracked to help get the Crusader design style in place, and we hear that the roadmap's going to be updated soon with that information, but the Mercury and the Starlifter designs have already been completed, and as they get built out, they're going to be used to help design the Genesis. Now, they asked if this should fit through small jump points, and CIG said that the sizing on those is still being worked out, but they expect it to match the Freelancer. And I'm personally still expecting the Freelancer to be the largest ship that can use the small jump points, so I think that's going to be the same for the Freelancer and the Mercury. They also confirmed that the rear ramp is the only entrance to the ship, and that it lacks any other access points anywhere else, like a ladder or a lift. In regards to crew sizes and ship design, it was pointed out that there are 3 beds, and it is listed as a crew of 3. However, there's 2 turrets, so that's really 4 crew. CIG said that that was an intentional design decision where they actually think that there's 5 roles on board, with a pilot, a co-pilot, a scanner, and then turret 1, turret 2. But you can use the crew how you see fit. You know, some people could sleep while someone flies. Maybe you don't need a scanning station for your mission, or maybe you don't need the co-pilot because you have a proficient pilot. The point is that the ship is designed to give you some bed flexibility, but it's not going to really let you fly with a full contingent of 5, have them all log out at the same time, which is why they really have it listed as a crew of 3. CIG confirmed that there's no planned modules for this ship, and they wanted it to be designed to be versatile in the roles of cargo and data, but not necessarily cross into other professions based on variants. They also went on to say that there is a bathroom, a kitchen, and a dining area. They also have weapon racks on board that all get shared across the crew. But there is a personal locker for EVA suits near the bunks for every crew member. But I read that as 3 lockers, not the 5 that we just talked about. We also find out that there's no airlock present on this ship's exit in the cargo area. So if you do end up needing to EVA, everyone in that section of the ship better have a suit on, since it's going to decompress the entire cargo area when the rear door is opened. The last thing that was brought up was more about gameplay, specifically what would be considered legal data collection. CIG says that legal data collection would be missions like PvE stuff for scanning for specific information like asteroid composition or density, which to me sounds more like a crossover into mining and exploration gameplay. Another example would be taking a mission to find the locations of players, though if you're hacking to get that, that feels like it might be illegal to me. Illegal stuff would be more in the category of like stealing information that's been communicated between 2 ships, using that for your gain. Now, all of that feels a little bit vague to me, so my guess right now is that the gameplay hasn't been fully established at this point, so they're probably only sharing some rough ideas. I'm actually hoping we get a second Q&A on this ship, considering these weren't exactly hard-hitting questions and answers, and I think there's still a lot that could be answered about this ship. Either way, the ship's still cool. I'm glad I moved some of my ships around to get one in my fleet. If you guys have questions on any of this, please let me know. Otherwise, stay tuned for a lot more coming soon. Have yourselves a wonderful day, and take care.
I got one. I sure did. This is a beautiful ship. STL Youngblood. Coming in with another awesome ship review. That for you guys right there, and link, follow, subscribe. Okay, next on our hit list is Tactical Advanced. 2 months ago, so we already seen that. Montoya. Six days ago. Anthem pre-order. It's not Star Citizen, but I am interested.
Blah, I have to use Origin. I wish every game would just launch from Steam. I hate all these launches. You play Origin.
I saw Mix.
But alas, I better get used to this because one of the games I've been looking forward to the most is Anthem. And I've been giving it some thought. I just need a little push.
$80. Oh man,
I'm a sucker for good intros. All right, let's do this. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I am Montoya. Anthem, a game I'm looking forward to a lot. Now, I know a lot of people are going to start screaming in pain when I say this, but yeah, I think I'm going to pre-order. Now, this might sound rich coming from someone who has spent thousands of dollars on internet spaceships for Star Citizen, which isn't going to be out as a full game for some time. So why in the world would I be against pre-orders, but yet want to do it for Anthem? It's a funny discussion, actually. I was talking with William from Your Anthem, great YouTube channel, last night. And in part of our discussion, we kind of landed on this topic of pre-orders. And I mean, obviously, Mass Effect Andromeda is fresh in everyone's mind. No Man's
Is $80 a new price of a game? I mean, first Tomb Raider is $80, now Anthem's $80. Is that what it's going to? We want to charge you $80 and we want you to pay up front? Something's going on.
Sky, the list goes on and on. Here's the thing. BioWare has made it very, very clear that they are listening to the community. They said there'll be no loot boxes. They said there'll be no DLCs. You buy the game, you are going to get it all. And from everything I've seen on Anthem and going through the subreddit and the tweets they've been putting out very regularly, I like what I have been seeing so far. Also, AI Bags from AnthemInsider.com, great blog. Bags went to Gamescom and he met the BioWare guys and he got his hand on playing the demo. I asked him, how does it play? And he said, it's exactly the way you see it. He loves it. So you know what? From what I've seen and from what I've heard from people with hands-on experience, I am satisfied that if I buy this, I will not be disappointed. But the most important thing, get the game. All right, I really, really want the Legion of Dawn Edition, which are some skins. EA or BioWare, if you watch my videos, and you should, where the hell is information on this? I want to see. I'm clicking. There's nothing happening. Clicking, and I'll add to my wish list, but please, no one's going to buy it from me. I'm going to do this myself now. I had to actually Google the Legion of Dawn Edition because it's nowhere to be found or it's hidden. So this is what it is. And bless your heart, it is black and yellow or black and gold. You knew I would not be able to resist. Black and gold, probably my favorite.
I already bought Battlefield 5, Alphane.
On day one, in
I'm
Anthem.
thinking about
I'm
getting
going to be
this one
rocking
too.
this Colossus of this Storm in black and gold. I will also be getting, well, it's all listed right here.
I don't want Tomb Raider.
You know
I
what?
can't
It's
play
the
girl
skin which
tunes.
basically sold me on this. That's all I really want out of it. So yeah, you get in the game. VIP access to pre-launch demos. Details coming soon. I don't know how soon these launch demos are. Are we talking December or we're talking early February?
Well, this is
See, the game
Anthem.
is due
This is a
February
different
anyway.
game.
Founders player banner, I don't care about that. The Legion of Dawn Legendary Ranger Armor Pack and weapon, yes please, I do want that. I will also be getting the Ranger Javelin Exosuit Legendary Gear attachment. I guess.
All right. At the end of the news, we're gonna look up Anthem and find out if it's something that we want to play after the news. Okay, so Montoya came in with an Anthem thing. Now we got Minion Soldier. Minion Soldier, we got 3 days ago, 1 day ago, 11 hours. This guy's a busy man. Looks like we got 2 videos. I'm kind of interested. I don't know what they are though. Ooh, it's dark. Scary. Real scary. Dark place.
Safe and sound at home again, let the waters roar, Jack. Safe and sound at home again, let the waters roar, Jack. Long we've tossed on the rolling main, now we're safe ashore, Jack. Don't forget your old shipmate, folly, rolly, 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 roll.
Yar. So, Friday I put up a video. A very interesting one indeed, because I kind of revealed that I was thinking about getting the glaive back. A lot of people were like, what are you talking about? And a lot of the comments, I was very interested to see the comments from that video. That was one of those situations where it's like, ooh, drop this video and then see what people say. And I realized I screwed up the audio at the end of the video and I had to repost it, and I left them both up so all the comments would stay and all that. But how I got to that point, where I started to ask that particular question, was, you know, for the longest time, I've always been the proponent of the utilitarian ships, the ships that serve multiple purposes. Once again, the Avenger, the Cutlass, things of that nature, which, you know, the Cutlass is quite serviceable in combat so far, and the Avenger is as well, and they still maintain that cargo capacity. And even the footage that you're seeing right now is yet another example of the mission system in the current iteration of Star Citizen kind of falling apart. Whereas when I first logged in, there was a mission to come out here and retrieve a black box. That mission has not really generated basically a location to go to get that black box, and neither has the other mission. And to be perfectly honest, from what I've seen, my experience in Star Citizen has put me in a spot where I'm wondering if the current client that we have, which is the 3.2. whatever client that we're running on right now, if this client isn't somehow degrading over time, because it seems that mission availability and the reliability of objectives even showing up on the map has started to really fall off, to the point where missions can often be either not even there or completely useless. And that's kind of an issue, but once again, game in development, problems happen, such as a landing site in the middle of space somewhere, don't know why. Issues arise, so it's to be understood, and I'm gonna have to go off and basically find my own way to generate some cash, which I'm going to do by buying a whole bunch of booze and shipping it to Grim Hex. But it kind of perfectly illustrates the point that I've always argued, which is against ships like the Glaive, which is, you know, having these options that come in a ship like this, like the Avenger. It allows you to kind of say, okay, well, this isn't working out for me, but I can go out and do something else. And in truth, if you're going to be a pirate, you are basically going to be something of a work scavenger.
Hey, Lurch, how you doing, buddy?
You're going to be trying to get whatever you can, wherever you can, however you can, right? And sometimes...
Doing good, man.
Yeah, there
Doing
might
good.
be a pricier reward over here, but maybe you don't have the group to do it with you, or you just have, you know, just yourself, and you want to just kind of do your own thing. Having a ship that can adapt to different mission profiles obviously is going to be a huge asset, right? And I've always argued that. But the Glaive kind of creeps into my mind every now and again, and recently it had done so much more aggressively, I would say. Now, the truth is that the Glaive is a fairly decent fighter. It is. It's got the size 1s and it's got the size 5s. You go in, you pound down the shields with the size 1s, they're fast repeating, you click them off, you go into the size 5s once the shields are down, and you pulverize the ship. It's not a bad idea, and of course there are the blades that extend out of the front of the ship, though when I owned it, at that time, they were problematic in getting them to work, and in fact, I don't ever recall ever being able to get them to work while I owned it. So, I mean, it's an alright fighter. It's
I got them to work,
fighter,
but
it really isn't a utilitarian
was a
ship
delay.
at all. It's a prestige fighter. It's a prestige item within the game, right? And I'm certainly not somebody who's adverse to collecting these things. I mean, I have things like this in World of Tanks with my Type 59. I have things like that in WoW with the rapiers that my rogue has, which are no longer obtainable, things like that. But when I look at those things and I get compliments on that stuff, or even hate for having these things, which somehow weirdly is better, it's a little bit sweeter, I would say, when you get the anger. You know, when I see these things, I think, oh man, you know, there is that one ship in Star Citizen, that Glaive. The Glaive is one of those ships that when you see it, it's like, oh shit, it's a Glaive. And not because it's like, oh no, this thing is going to be super deadly and it's going to destroy everything on the battlefield, but it's different, right? It's striking and it's different. And there is that allure to it, right? You have to admit it. There is a certain allure to these ships that are almost completely different from any other fighter that we have in the game, and they stand out, which can be a...
I tried to obtain a Glaive. I really did. And it takes you down a deep rabbit hole into a bunch of gray areas. And at the end of the day, you just don't want to go there.
Good thing and a bad thing, because it's also like, go kill the guy with the Glaive because we hate him because he's got something we don't got. You know, that certainly happens. I mean, there were certain times in World of Tanks where people would start off and just like at the beginning of a battle say, kill the Type 59 because we can't get it anymore, that sort of thing, you know, kill that bitch in the Type 59. I certainly got used to that. So I mean, there is that appeal, and I don't think it's an appeal that you can readily dismiss, because there's almost an emotional attachment to it. I mean, because it's different and because it's unique. I mean, sure, it stands out, it gets attention, but it's nice to have something like that, right? It's nice to have, you know, whether it's a car or a watch or, I don't know, a suit jacket if that's your thing or whatever. It's nice to have like a prestige item, a luxury item, something like that. And that's where the glaive keeps kind of tricking its way back into my mind. And then I always go, oh, well, you know, you can use those size 1s to like pound down the shields, and then you can use the size 5s to, you know, rip up the hull. It'll be a good fighter. It'll be a solid fighter. It'd be good. But then, you know, once again, like the situation that we're seeing on screen, I have now come into a place where I now have to adapt to the situation if I want to get any value out of my gameplay session. I'm going to have to go and pick up some cargo and deliver it in hopes of, you know, making some money out of a session where clearly there's very little to be made, you know, with the lacking availability of missions. But also, if you kind of extrapolate into the future of Star Citizen, it could be very well possible that even though there are missions there, maybe they're in an area where you're kind of persona non grata, or, you know, whatever your circumstances are in that moment, you have to be adaptable, and you have to say, well, if I want to make money in this game session, or if I want to get anything done, I need a platform that can adapt to the situation. The other side of that is, I mean, I already kind of got the platform to adapt to the situation, and it's like, and I've got these fighters, and arguably none of these fighters really stands out one from the other, right? And that's kind of where we got to where we were Friday, which is none of these fighters really stands out from any other fighter. I have all the core ships that I need to really make the whole pirate thing work, and anything beyond that core group is simply a luxury. And so I was thinking about consolidating all those fighters into one without, you know, saying like, oh well, I'm gonna get rid of the Reclaimer and buy the Glaive, because would never happen. So that was kind of my current level of thinking, was, you know what, I've got all the core money makers I'm ever going to need. I'm not getting rid of the Cutlass because
Okay, is the Glaive coming up for sale? I have to ask. Is that why he's talking about it so much?
Yes, I'm not getting rid of the Reclaimer because, you know, obviously I love the Reclaimer. So nothing else is going to be gotten rid of except fighters that, quite frankly, I don't even fly and have very little interest in, and could easily
Must be
replace
playing
them
on the anniversary sale, maybe?
when I need them, and I could still have, you know, that kind of that ship. The downside, admittedly, is the fact that because it's a Glaive, it's probably going to paint a big fat red target on my back, and realistically, when I'm going out and doing the day-to-day...
If you're a pirate, your name is already red, so... Does it really matter what ship you're in?
Am I really going to use it that much, even? I mean, that's one of the things I think that kicks me back from a lot of the fighters that I currently own, is that in the end, when I leave Grim Hex and say, well, time to go make some money, you know, I automatically get into the Cutlass. You know, I automatically go for that ship because it's the one that can do just about every mission profile that I need, and if the missions aren't available, I can just go and haul cargo with it, and it actually fits into Grim Hex, unlike the Caterpillar, and it can just get the job done and get it done fairly quickly and easily. So those are the two main pushbacks, I think, is having a target painted on my back, and, you know, will I really use the Glaive all that much? That's really the two things that are pushing me back away from this the most. But anyways, let me know what you think in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed the show, and thanks for watching.
All right. Indian Soldier's got another one too. And I'll link to his page here while I'm here. Hold your link. Next video.
Now, recently on Calling All Devs, they hinted at player habitation, player housing, things like that. A big announcement coming up soon. And I mean, do we really need housing? I mean, let me ask you that question. I mean, most of us have our own ships that are perfectly fine, perfectly safe. We can live on them. We can log in and we can log out on them. We can go around and do things. They're wonderful environments, you know, and we can't wait to customize them. What could be safer than our own ship? Okay, well, maybe someday. Well, maybe these habitation modules aren't such a bad idea after all, for the time being. But player housing is an interesting topic. It's something that other games have tried. Some, it's worked out fairly well for them. Others, it has been slightly disastrous. On the disastrous side, that would be WoW, with the Garrison implementation of Warlords of Draenor. Certainly made the game far more antisocial and was not a good feature. Cool idea, but bad implementation. I really think that the secret is in the implementation of how you do these things. But beyond that, when you look at bigger ships, especially like the Reclaimer, like the Polaris, like even the Hammerhead, you're going to have your own personal quarters on them. And so in the end, doesn't that become your housing to a certain degree, depending on what ship that you fly? I mean, are we talking about a full-on base? Something of that nature? We know that land claims are already being sold, so maybe that's a thing. You know, maybe that's what, you know, CIG intends, is they're going to tell us something about, oh, we can build our own base. Oh, you almost got me there, Chris Roberts.
Nice try, Lao She.
You see that? Chris Roberts trying to kill me, my dudes. What's up with that? But anyways, you know, base building and that sort of thing, we know that there's going to be something like that in the game. We already know. Pioneer, land claims, yeah. Those two things put together, they're going to let us build bases. Whether you want to live in one or not, that's up to you. I mean, there's certainly a lot of sandbox games where you can go out and you can build your own base and do any number of things, especially through mods. So there's obviously a big community out there who loves that sort of thing, and I'm sure that there are going to be a lot of features along that end. But I don't think that what they were hinting at is this announcement. I don't think that this is it. I think they are going to go in a different direction. I think that they are going to go in a GTA Online direction for their first implementation. Do you remember this image? Now, this is an image of Lorville. This is in the early stages of...
What does the GTA route mean? Because I don't play GTA 5, so I have no clue what he meant. Anybody in chat tell me what he meant by what he said?
Of development. It's a pretty big city, big, large area, all kinds of different things hopefully going to be going on. An area that is going to be fleshed out over time. Plenty of shit going on in this area. What I think that CIG is going to do, and maybe there's, you know, we're reaching really far for this one, but maybe it's a potential way for them to bleed a little UEC out of the community. Certainly some people have seen how UEC and Alpha UEC have changed recently, and how you can purchase more UEC, or tons of people had a bunch of UEC on their accounts and are starting off in some cases with exorbitant sums of cash. I think that what CIG is going to do initially is they're going to take the GTA Online route, and they are going to let us purchase landing sites in Lorville or rent them. Probably I would lean more towards purchase. The same way you would purchase a house in GTA Online that has a garage or an apartment building or a warehouse and park all your cars there, something of that nature. I think that's the direction that they're going to go in for the first implementation. Player basing and construction, obviously, something that's down.
Now, if they do that and they try to charge me, I'm going to scream because I bought all these ships and they all say they came with this hangar and that hangar. And when you add it all up for a person like me, that's 40 hangars that I own. Why would I owe you any more money? I'd be really pissed off.
Down the road. But I think the prerequisite for that is a fully functional Pioneer, and we're nowhere near that. So that is something that's off in the distance. I think land claims in the beginning are going to be more used towards mining than anything else. So I think that this is what CIG is, this is what they've got up their sleeve, is they're going to let us purchase our own little landing area and hangar on, you know, Lorville or Hurston, however those two work out. I think Lorville is on Hurston. So I think that that's kind of what they're going for, is they're going to scatter this city with a whole bunch of different large-sized landing pads, and players can choose different places. Now, players can base out of common areas much the same way they can in GTA Online, but I think they're going to make it so that it's so spread apart that you're not really going to run into each other too many times. And obviously, having a common landing and takeoff area like Olisar is kind of a travesty, and it leads to certain forms of abuse, obviously. So I think that this is what CIG has got up their sleeve. If you think about it, a city in an area this large can certainly accommodate a wide variety of landing pads. Certainly. I mean, look at it. And Olisar's biggest problem is that taking off and landing from Olisar is usually dependent on traffic. Certainly, the bigger ship you have, the worse it gets. I did an episode just recently where I was like, if you're hoping to pull out your hammerhead, chances are you're going to hear, sorry, all the landing pads are full. This allows you to kind of work around that problem. Something like this. It also eliminates problems where players are sneaking onto other player ships. It doesn't totally eliminate it, because obviously if there's a will in gaming, there is a way. There is a way that you can break the system and abuse another player if you are so motivated. But it limits the possibilities, and I think that that's the direction that they're going to go, and it's a direction that I'm excited to see. I really and honestly am, because I wouldn't mind, you know, finally putting the hangar and the landing area and all these things together. I would really love for us to get to a point. I mean, we've had these hangars for years and years and years and years. Even before we had an arena commander, we had the hangar module way back in the day. Many of you guys remember that. And so moving this into an area where these things are kind of united, and maybe, I don't know, maybe relative to the ship that you own. You know, once again, how we were unlocking various hangars through the ships that we purchased. This one comes with AeroView. This one comes with the cave one, you know, that sort of thing. Or this one comes with the fancy Apple Store hangar. Being able to use a city like this allows, and using a system like that, you can kind of unite those two systems, bring them together, and finally give the hangar some real meaning in the Star Citizen universe, which is, I think, if this is what they're going for, if this is what they're announcing, top marks. I hope that it is something that we inherently inherit. I realize that there's obviously going to be a drive to kind of use a feature like this to kind of bleed some money out of the community. And I don't mean that in a nefarious way, like, oh, give us $50 extra or something like that. But I think it's going to be a way to kind of drain the UEC out of the economy. It could be seen as a cash sink in that way. I hope it's not going to be that. I hope it is, in fact, going to be... it's going to be something that we've already inherited through the ships that we've bought. And the more extensive our collection, the more extensive the facilities that we have access to. And maybe it's just going to be the Apple Store framing or the AeroView framing, that sort of thing. But in general, it's going to kind of adapt to the size of ship that we have. I think that certainly ship maintenance fees and resource costs and all of that are going to be more than enough as a tool to kind of drain excess cash out of the in-game economy. But if this is what I think it is, if this is what they're going for,
ammo,
I think
fuel,
it's awesome.
repairs.
And I can't wait to see it. Certainly a city like Lorville. I mean, all we really got is a still photo, but imagine it. Remember, it's a dynamic environment on a planet, so that planet is rotating. So there's going to be sunrises, sunsets, night, day, all these sort of different conditions. I mean, this has got a very Blade Runner-esque look to it, and I am so excited to see what they do with the city. I really, really am. And if they're doing what I think they're doing, even more so. I can't wait to see something like this, if this is what they're going for. Fingers crossed that I'm right, because I really, really hope that I do, and it's something I'll definitely be very excited to see. Anyways, that's the show for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.
All right. I already put his link in the comment there. So, here we go. Citizen Gamer Blastcast 153. Evocati 3.3 testing those. Oh. This week.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the Blastcast. I am Jarus. With me, as always, is the guy who taught Zap Brannigan everything he knows, Lightning Dragon.
Indeed.
All right, well, let's go ahead and jump into Star Citizen news and get right to it. On Around the Verse this week, they showed off more of the space mining. Now, apparently, the more you overcharge the rock, the greater the drift on the individual pieces. They're going to make you chase them down, which makes sense because it is space, but you got to be careful even more so than in the atmosphere.
I sure hope the mining mechanics are a bit more refined by then.
Yeah, they said there's actually some revisions, and they've been doing some updating. And you know, when you were mining,
Tell me
you were
if
talking
that
about how
volume's
there was
okay.
like this lag issue where you were having. I think they said they've been addressing that too.
Yeah, it's funny that we mentioned this because we have an oven that is analog, you know, like dials and stuff.
Yeah.
And when you're setting the timer, when you spin it, the longer you spin it, the more it'll change. Eventually it goes in, instead of being seconds, it goes to minutes. That reminded me of mining, now that we're talking about mining again. So you're scrolling your mouse wheel up, and all of a sudden it goes from, you know, like 1 degree changes to like 10 degree changes. And then it's like the oven, where instead of going, oh, I just want another 30 seconds here. Yeah, it's like 5 minutes. You're like, no, I don't want that much time. But I mean, again, that could have been a latency thing.
I'm not having you do any cooking for me whatsoever.
I turn it back. I don't cook it for extra 5 minutes.
They also showed off a new sound focusing technique. Now, when human beings are in a crowded room or a noisy environment, you can kind of focus in on what you're trying to listen to. It's something you do unconsciously. Now, they're trying to mimic this effect by wherever you're looking, it'll kind of filter out the sounds of the other things you're not looking at and filter in or make the sound stronger the things that you are. This is going to be for conversations or maybe for music or anything they feel like. It's very interesting.
Yeah, I was just at a big show. Well, not huge or anything. It was not like 1,000 people or anything. Man, it was loud. It was uncomfortably loud. So I was actually in an environment just like that, where it's like, well, what's this person talking about? But it was so loud that you only picked out like every third word, or, you know, you could kind of follow the conversation. In a video game, being able to just look at something and just have everything else be ignored, I don't think that'd be that bad.
Yeah, the odd thing was to me is that the forums were kind of, well, there's one particular thread, and people are complaining about it, saying it's a waste of time for them to do this kind of thing. But, you know, I'll say this, and we talk about a lot of things in the show, and we give credit where credit is due. The sound guys have been killing it. When they showed off those metal canisters being knocked down, ramps and stairs, and the sounds they were making, and now working on getting audio focus, give this a chance. I don't see anything wrong with this. I think that the audio team has absolutely just been introducing a lot of very amazing techniques, and I look forward to seeing how it's implemented.
Don't forget about when they were showing off the damage states and how the different sounds would affect different areas of the ship. And
Oh,
I think it was
yeah.
in the Idris.
Yeah, the sound guys are amazing. Now they just got to make the weapons and the engines more throaty, you know, a little bit deeper, a little bit more, you know, make them feel like they're shaking your very seat. And I think a lot of us will be a lot happier.
Crank that bass up to 11.
Exactly. CIG also showed off the way they're scripting NPC ships to land. It's a very interesting thing. They set the orientation of the ship, it basically nose up, nose down, when it rolls, when it pitches, so they can kind of script landing patterns for them quickly and efficiently. The thing is, when you watch this video, it caught my eye instantaneously, was they kind of make all the ships come in like 45 degree or so angled, nose down. It looks really terrible. And I know it's a first implementation, but I really hope that's not something that stays. It needs to look a little bit more organic than that. It looks really weird to see a Starfarer coming down at 45 degrees and then suddenly pitch up and land. So a little tweaking there, but I like the overall concept.
Can we get AI ships that land like Saturday Night Fever? You know, disco balls come in, they land on the thing and do a strut and maybe break dance or something. I want to see that.
Well, with the scripting, you probably could.
That'd be ridiculous.
Reverse the Verse this week was all about prototyping gameplay. Calyx Renault showed off basically how you can make puzzles, quickly implement them into the game, and all the states that are involved to make them work. It's pretty interesting.
We can have Legend of Zelda?
You probably could, yeah. I don't see that would be a, but mostly it was about how to make a colored, different kind of locked keypad. And it was, I don't know, it's kind of interesting to watch. If you're into that kind of thing, give it a view. Let's jump into calling all devs. There's a couple questions here that caught my ears, so let's break it down. Can we get better joystick and gamepad support? Because things like mobiGlas, terminals, MFDs, and even turrets, they don't work too well with sticks and gamepads. Well, I thought it was kind of interesting because, you could kind of throw IM into that too. It didn't really come out into the question, but, that kind of goes without saying.
It's a secret.
Now, they said from a developer perspective, they want to get these MFDs and things, their basic functionality up and working, and it's easiest to implement that with the mouse initially. Because everyone owns a keyboard and a mouse, for them, that's going to be the priority of making everything work. Now, obviously, this means they're going to have to go back and do a lot of reworks after they get everything up and going. I find it still kind of odd that, well, for the most part, and it's felt like this for years now, that flight devices have felt like a secondary consideration in a game that was originally pitched primarily about flight. So hopefully they get this locked down, because while I don't mind reaching over and grabbing the mouse, it doesn't bother me in the least. I mean, it's right there. The thing is that there are a lot of people like, well, I'll give you an example. I can play Elite Dangerous with my TWCS throttle and T16000M, and the way they've set it up, every function on that ship can be mapped that I can use everything on that ship without moving my hands off of the HOTAS or the stick. It's really, really well done. Now, once again, as I've stated several times in the past, what CIG should do is take a look at what other games are doing and basically, for lack of better words, copy it. Obviously make modifications, but if something works well over here, there's no shame in taking a look at that and saying, yeah, let's see if we can apply that to our game with some little changes here and there.
There is one way you can look at this, and I'm kind of playing, I'm not saying really I'm playing devil's advocate, but I'm going against...
No, you're kind of devil's advocate just in your nature.
Well, one of the ways you can look at it is, you're making a game, go with me here, if you're making a game for a console, usually controls aren't high on the list. I mean, you remap things later on. In that regard, even on PC games and stuff that had controllers or everything, most likely as the development team, you're going to work with keyboard and mouse because that's easier. And then later on the road, you're like, okay, this game was meant to be played with this, so we're going to move the controls over to that and make it work. On the same side of that argument, I'm going to destroy my counterpoint here because I'm sure people will make that argument, in that Star Citizen isn't a regular game, and the way they do things isn't like, Rockstar would, or BioWare, or any other larger game company. So it's kind of like, I can understand it, but this isn't a regular game company.
Well, when you go back to games like, as I like to call it, X Stillbirth, and they found code in the actual game files that indicated very clearly that what they were trying to do with that particular game was to bring it out on consoles. I think they found Xbox code or Xbox files in there, and it consoleized the hell out of it. Anyone who's played, when I'll use the actual name, X Rebirth, knows that the game was pretty much garbage. And I know that the upcoming X, they're going back to their roots, and that brings a lot of hope. they really tried to turn a relatively deep sim-light series that had been running for a long time, loved by the fans, into kind of open up this market that honestly doesn't really exist for these kind of games.
Not on consoles.
No, not really. And that's my concern when I look at things that Star Citizen does, is that if they simplify things over here, like for Flight, and then they have complex things over here. So Lightning, you had one here that you wanted to talk about.
I was looking at these notes here, and it's kind of like, ship lock mechanics not working properly. And I was like, ship locking? What the heck are they talking about? If you have an intruder on your ship and you decide to kill them, you get a bounty. And it's like, clearly it's not working like we want it. That was just a placeholder.
Yeah, it's
That
not
is
finished yet by a
such
long shot.
a pain in the ass. How many times have we had someone randomly in our ship or try and kill us in our ship?
Oh yeah. We had a couple explore the verse. Yeah, I was sitting in the cockpit, I think, of your Retaliator, and someone threw a grenade in there, and that's when the grenades were bugged, so it didn't kill me. But I pulled up my sniper rifle and blasted them in the hallway. But then I got like crime stats on me because of it.
So obviously it's broken, and they've addressed it. Yes, Retaliator. So it's nice that they're addressing this, but it couldn't come sooner.
Yeah. They said they need more pieces of the puzzle, like with grouping and things like that. And when that all starts to come together, they'll be able to better distinguish friend from foe. Like this ship may be tied to these people. We're all in the group, and then anyone outside of that is an intruder because they're not invited. So there's more systems that have to be built that are dependent upon getting that kind of thing right.
Just do the GTA kind of thing and have a star system. If you're out in the middle of nowhere and you space some dude, who's gonna know?
All right, another question was, once planets start orbiting their stars, how are they going to make the rest stops meaningful? Are they going to rotate with the planets? How are they going to maintain that position if they do? They're looking at this technique. It's called Lagrange points.
Lagrange points.
In all honesty, if they don't do something for people that have been waiting for a game that they promised years ago, I think they're gonna lose it. I think they need to make some really nice ship for people that have been in it for 3 years and give it to them. These people have been here for 2 years, give them this. You've been here for a year, give them this. They need to start giving something for people waiting.
There you go.
I believe that's the correct pronunciation. I could be wrong.
No, you're absolutely right. I just can't speak today. So we're going to go with Lagrange points or whatever. You said it, we'll go with, that thing. They're going to be using those to help navigate with the changes on planetary location. It sounded like there was a couple ways they're approaching it, but I would imagine what they're going to do for simplicity's sake is eventually have stationary rest stops that are intermittent in different directions that you can go to. Now, my thinking on this to a degree is that might open up very interesting economic shifts. Like, for example, if all the planets are, say, on one side and there's rest stops on the other, you might find that the prices to sell stuff to those stations might actually be higher because people aren't going to them as frequently. So they're running short on supplies because of that orbital lapse, if you will, of business. They could really get creative with that, but I think ultimately that's what they're going to go with, because I think trying to have all the stations and stuff moved to probably be a bit too much.
I am all for keeping them in a fixed position. This means, for example, if you get a mission to haul a crate of ducks, I don't care what it is, and you have to go to, I'd make a joke about DuckTales here.
I was actually, when you said crate of ducks, I went woohoo in my head. I didn't do it, but now I did.
I can't think of the name of one of the towns in the show, because that's the next thing. It'd be okay. So you're taking ducks to a town.
Duckburg.
Duckburg. There we go. And you go to Lagrange Point 1 or something, but Duckbird's on the other side of the planet. Okay, well, obviously you want to go to a different planet or a different Lagrange point for to get easier to that city, because obviously if you're on this side of the planet, it'd be really hard to go there. So you jump back into Super Cruise and go to another Lagrange point. But having it like this, you could have kind of what happened in Eve, where you have Jedha. Everyone goes to Jedha. I never went there. I only went there once because it's like, oh, just go there. Their prices aren't good, and it's very dangerous. Go to Amar or something. But you could end up having very, very large hubs where people just go here because it's like, oh well, the planet rotates so slowly that, like 20 missions or something went through there during the last hour or something. So there's a lot of goods there. So it's generating a lot of missions to haul that to either planet side or to have it go to another area in system or across to another system.
And that's on the planetary scale, even but on on the talking about on the receiving end, just on the shipping from rest stops. Like they're going to need supplies. Rest stops aren't just going to be able to maintain everything without getting supplies. So as I said, as the stations get further from an actual planet, then you may find that they'll buy stuff from you at a higher rate just to pull in the extra traffic back into there. But yeah, I totally get what you're saying. Is like these kind of orbital shifts could actually be filtered into the economy to a degree and change traffic patterns. But that's really complex, and that's down the road. But there's a lot of potential here if they're smart about it.
I think having them fixed, there'd be no problem with that. I mean, not only would it be more difficult, like coding wise and game engine wise, to make it so they rotate with the planets, but there's nothing wrong with having them fixed, because a new type of gameplay would spring from that, where something becomes a really big hive of activity because it's centrally located and so much traffic is going in and out of there, or something that's in a planet or near a moon, because the way Lagrange points work, that could end up being a big hub in that planet just because of the nature of the missions that come in. Kind of living universe, I don't really like that term, but it could make it feel more realistic, that you have activity more in certain areas because of where the planets are located.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it was also because of the fact that, as they're rotating, they may get further or closer from jump gates. And what was a short trip 1 month could be a really long trip the next month, as the planet's on not only far away on the opposite side of the system from where the jump gate is, because you have to go around the sun, you have to go away on the other side. Like last month, it was a 20-minute trip or an hour trip, whatever. This month, it's a 3-hour trip or, whatever.
A 3-hour tour.
So the point is that you may consider changing where you're going and why you're going there. I know we went off subject a little bit, but there's a lot of good possibilities here. But I really want to see those planets rotate, or at least orbit, down the road. Because I think, both of them actually, yeah. I want to see all that put together because that will have those kind of massive changes in the game.
We both like it.
No issues. As many of you have probably heard, Evo Conti should be launching sometime this week. That, of course, means I'm going to be out there testing it, finding mistakes, bugs, errors, falling through planets, because that's what I do best.
Falling through ships,
planets,
falling
tables.
through stations.
If it's not supposed to clip through it, I will find a way. That is my
teleported to the sun.
Yeah, I am no clip man. Now, unfortunately, this is the part where it gets tough, because during this process, I so much wish I could share this stuff with you guys. NDA, I can't do it. I will get my thoughts together. I will be ready to discuss all of it when it moves into PTU, which I imagine they're going to want to have that at least at Wave 1 by the time we get the CitizenCon. I don't think it's going to be fully open version. They like to say that the PTU is open for backers, which means that they're going to at least get the Wave 1. So I would say you're probably looking at access to the PTU 2 weeks after CitizenCon, at least for a large enough player base, maybe 3, but don't count on everyone getting in immediately by the time that CitizenCon happens. Right now we're at 3 weeks. It's going to take a lot of time to do that kind of bug reporting. That's just the nature of it.
Will it also take a whole lot of money?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. Every time you say a whole lot of time, I think of the song, "A Whole Lot of Precious Time." I'm not going to sing anymore. We're done.
And the audience cheers. As a side note about CitizenCon, what I'm planning to do for that, because there are a lot of panels. Traditionally, what we've done on this channel is we've covered CitizenCon on a very large, very lengthy show.
Supercast.
What I'm thinking of doing this year, and I'd like to get your opinion on it down below, because of all the different panels and all the things going on, what I thought I would do is do a small show covering each panel, things in there that we found interesting, and release a show like that, a mini blastcast along the way. This way, you can skip the shows about topics you don't really care about and watch the ones that you do. Now, the downside of this is I don't like flooding you with a bunch of videos, and I would probably release like one every day after CitizenCon just to kind of not put, here's 10 today in your inbox. That's obnoxious. I hate that crap when I get it from other channels that do it. How would you like to see that information distributed? You think just going through it maybe in the order that they have these panels one at a time and discussing it subject by subject would be okay, and releasing one video a day, we give you our thoughts? Or if you have any alternate suggestions, feel free to leave them down below, because this is kind of new territory for both of us. So this Thursday will be episode 3 of Arma 3 Apex, the Zap Brannigan strategy, where we take all of Zap Brannigan's combat skills and apply them to our combat methodology.
And
AKA,
there is a lot.
AKA respawning.
Whatever it is, I'm willing to put wave after wave of men at your disposal. Right, men?
You suck!
All right, everyone, well, that's about it for this week's Blastcast. As always, leave your comments and suggestions down below, and we will catch you on the next one.
Bye-bye, everybody.
All right. Citizen Gamer. Put a link to their site right there for you guys. And moving up the ladder, got Mr. Board Gamer. 17 hours ago. Planetary orbits and stations. Give it to me, Board. I'll put a link to his there too.
Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen, taking a look at persistence, controller support, defending your ship, and a lot of information on planets and rest stops, orbiting, and how that will affect quantum travel and route planning. I had to research Lagrange points for this video, so that'll be interesting. It's a summary of Calling All Devs of space stations and orbits. Let's start with orbits, as it's probably the most interesting topic here. At the moment, in the persistent universe, planets rotate, but they do not orbit. All objects in a star map are in a fixed position, basically, on the map. It's still the plan to have planets orbiting stars and moons orbiting planets, functional orbits basically in each of the star systems. This actually had quite a complex Q&A to it, so I'll read some of it word for word. Once planets start orbiting their stars, how will the rest stop stations maintain a meaningful position between two planets? They won't. That's the short answer. Planets orbit and rotate. They're going to be using Lagrange points where stations are likely to be placed. A Lagrange point is a location in space where the combined gravitational forces of two large bodies, such as a planet and the sun, or the planet and a moon, equal the centrifugal force felt by a much smaller third body. So in this diagram that is moving around here, the yellow orb represents a star, the blue point a planet, and the green points potentially stations that move relative to that planet. There are 5 Lagrange points around major bodies such as planets or a star, so each planet could potentially have 5 stations that will remain parked in orbit in a system relative to that planet. You won't get objects staying in the same place between two planets, but you will get stations that move relative to a planet's orbit and then orbit around the sun with them. So with current thinking of where they're going to be placing stations and points of interest potentially, lots of moving objects moving relative to planets seems to be the idea. They also seem to be getting around any major issues of plotting courses and how to get places, basically by having lots of truck stops, allowing you to plot routes and get refueled and that sort of stuff on the way. This does mean that routes and plotting will change. So the planets and they're orbiting, they're rotating, and all the objects that are orbiting them are also potentially rotating and moving too. So there aren't going to be static routes when you get into a system of this is always going to be the best route to this particular station or planet. Planets and objects will move constantly, but there will be truck stops placed around, meaning that you're not going to get stuck and you're going to have options. This actually plays a lot into the exploration gameplay for me. Discovering something's location and saving the data makes much more sense if you're also saving the information of where that object is moving to, basically. That's a good point of, like, why if you just went out into the black, why wouldn't you see anything? Why wouldn't you find the same sort of asteroid field someone else had found? Well, because it's moving. Once you have a location of a derelict, an asteroid field or station, point of interest, or astral body, you're able to save that data and then potentially transmit that to other players. And you're able to travel back to that point of interest because you know where it's going to be in, say, a day's time or whatever. Your star map can number crunch and work out where it is, sort of like in lore. They already use splines as well to draw curved quantum travel points and routes. So some of the work actually for traveling is already solved. So basically the curved routes will allow you to go, well, I want to travel a slightly indirect route to this station, which is over the other side of the verse, and I need to draw a new point to it because that kind of object is always going to be moving. So you also need to account for the object while you're traveling to it because it's moving. Otherwise, when you come out of quantum travel, the object could have already moved and you'll come out quite short. Obviously, that could be solved just by doing another quick quantum jump little hop, but it would be much better for quality of life if you just get to the location you're trying to travel to with that single jump. I mean, yeah, maybe you need to do multiple jumps. Maybe you need to plot courses, that sort of stuff. And plotting courses will be a skill in the verse. There's supposed to be gameplay there. So we'll have to see exactly how that comes into play and how that's implemented. But they're thinking about it now, and it looks like, at least in the short term, they have plans for stations orbiting those planets and staying relative to them. Spawning! So players will be able to spawn at their habs. In the future, you'll be able to rent different types of room as well.
Ruckus.
At the moment, they're working on some spawning logic to allow players to sensibly spawn at various locations. In the short term, they may look at having some more sort of like smaller and remote locations where players can spawn in small numbers at. We will be able to spawn back in our ship if we've logged out in a bed, and we already have that in game, or at the last major location that we visited. We are going to see more of player habs and living quarters in Alpha 3.3 and in the coming weeks, as well as the mechanics evolving based on player feedback for spawning in, especially in the shorter term. They're going to be looking at what's sensible. Joystick and gamepad support. So they will be supporting and improving joystick and gamepads for major systems in-game, like with the Mobiglass and the Star Map and those sort of apps there. The plan is to be able to use a single control device for as many situations as possible, but they're also aware that pretty much everyone that has a PC has a mouse and keyboard, which is why in the shorter term, it definitely looks like they're trying to support that device the best, or at least it has the most comprehensive support. We will see more turret and control improvements. Work on that is continuing. They acknowledge that players don't like button changes, but they are still optimizing control setups and adding features at the moment, so stuff may change. Other non-keyboard controller types basically won't be under-supported in the future. Ship locking and defending. So the first iteration of ship locking that we had in game was to stop people stealing your ships so easily straight off landing pads as you spawn them in, that sort of stuff. Now we have the ability that anyone in your group can potentially open the doors of your ship, which is great. They have been working on groups and the reputation system. This will enable players to potentially defend.
Here's my theory on the sandworm. They did the game with no worm in there, and they added it after. I don't think there ever was a worm in the game engine.
Defend their ship from intruders without themselves getting a crime stat's the idea. So it will identify if someone is on your ship that shouldn't be, and if you attack them or whatever, you're not liable to get a crime stat yourself. The criminality and reputation systems will be getting more complex to account for various gameplay and mechanics. And again, just like everything else in Star Citizen, it will grow and evolve with each patch, but also based on player feedback. Today's video is brought to you by F-Secure Total, premium cybersecurity for you and your devices. Want PC security, protection, or don't like the idea of being constantly monitored? F-Secure Total is for you. It includes safe and award-winning internet security suite, protecting you from ransomware, viruses, and while browsing the web. Freedom VPN, giving you net privacy, a way to access otherwise inaccessible content, while being secure and anonymous even on public Wi-Fi. Key, a password manager, allowing you to store your passwords securely and access them from any device. Total protects you and your device. You can try F-Secure Total, Internet Security and Privacy Suite free for 30 days. You can also use the code BoardGamer to get 20% off a subscription. Check out the links below for more information. Every month we have a ship giveaway. This time for September, it's a Saber Raven, a game package, and a CitizenCon digital goodies pack. All you need to do to be in for a chance of winning is be subscribed to my YouTube channel and comment on any of my videos during the month. Thanks for watching, guys. I look forward to your comments. Take care, and I'll see you in the verse.
All right, I already put the link for that one in the chat. He's got the contest that goes every month. So every one of his videos, every time you put a comment in there, is another chance to win. Okay, last one that we're going to do is Nubifier, and I believe something came on my phone today. I believe it did. 21 hours ago. Here we go.
Hello YouTubers, this is Anubifier. Today I would like to discuss a change that could keep people more interested, or at least interested longer, between patches. As part of testing, it's critical that with each patch, the player's statistics are reset between Evocati, PTU, and live releases. This gives the developers a more reliable and comparable picture of the current balance as we play the patches. After 3.3, this reset might start to have a larger detrimental effect on another aspect. Our playtime and our desire to play much past the midpoint always drops off. We always get more info on the next patch and we lose interest in the current live version. When cargo mechanics were released, the players tried their very best to grind to achieve 1 million credits, despite losing it to crashes. Many used that money by exploring store to store, buying cool weapons and armor. The server was then reset with the next patch and the players started over. With the release of mining, cargo was balanced a little bit to pay less, and it was up to us to explore a different kind of grind. It's good gameplay, but with no real end state. As I said at the start, we have a good reason to believe that changes are coming with 3.3. With this upcoming patch, it's been hinted that we may be able to acquire ships in-game with in-game currency. This could be the first time us citizens have a valid argument for those who suggest that the game's pay to win. Since Kickstarter, the funding model has become more and more aggressive and confusing. I did a video on this issue several months ago, which is linked up now and it'll be in the description. From what I understand, we're looking at being able to rent ships in-game with AUEC for patch 3.3. This is a great first step, but I feel it's going to be more beneficial if we're able to buy ships in-game instead. We've never really had a chance to balance the value of a ship in universe against what it costs in the store. With the purchase, there's still a major problem with buying ships in-game during an alpha, and that's the resets. The player will probably still hit that point in the patch where it becomes stale before everything gets taken away. So why not just let people keep the ships between patches? When I thought about it, I didn't see any real impact on the balance, as hardcore players would basically have a goal patch to patch. For all your playtime, you'd receive a more complete fleet, and I don't actually think that this would have any negative effects on funding. Transparency and progress do more for funding than artificial scarcity. When a player believes the progress is being made and there's no shady business going on, they're more likely to want to pitch in. There'll obviously need to be some resets going into beta and before live, but I feel it's a good time to open up the store. As usual, I use a scenario to explain, so here it goes. Let's say hypothetically an Avenger Titan ends up being 500,000 AUEC to purchase. You grind cargo in 3.3, buy it, trick it out, and start performing missions that your Aurora wasn't suitable for. You have a new goal of a prospector, but now it's December, we're a week away from the release of patch 3.4. 3.4 drops, your money's still reset, and you have a basic weapon and flight suit. You can pick up where you left off because you still have your Avenger Titan. Now you push for the prospector, and once you have it, you can use it and the mining mechanics to grind for your next ship, a Caterpillar. CIG, I'd like to suggest that if you want players to play through the patch, there has to be some carryover. The reset is just too hard of a pill to swallow. As you get closer to reset, you know that your efforts mean less because you know they're going to be taken away. And there you go. I make videos like this for your feedback and to start discussion. Please let me know pros or cons about purchasing or renting ships with AUEC in the comments. Thank you very much for spending your time with me. If you liked this video and you got something out of it, please share with friends and org mates. Fly safe, and I'll see you in the verse. Hello,
Mr.
YouTubers.
I really noticed that it's not the same footage as we always see, like in everybody else's video, and I also noticed that it was really detailed. The footage that he managed to get was really crisp. I mean, really good. Really good footage. All right, guys. I want to look at this Anthem game a little bit more. It looks like something that I might want to buy. I'm really like the MechWarrior. So check out this Anthem.
Hello everyone and welcome to Anthem. I'm Ben Irving, one of the lead producers for the game, and on behalf of everyone here at BioWare, we are excited to share this live gameplay experience with all of you. Joining me today are 4 amazing developers, controllers in hand, ready to take you on an adventure through the mysterious world of Anthem.
Now a second caravan's been hit.
Another one? Contract's getting fun now.
You have the strangest sense of fun.
You guys starting without me?
Freelancer, time to get to work! Faye said these bastards made some kind of acid. They're using it as a weapon. Melted a couple of supply caravans.
Scar's taking down whole caravans. Damn.
I know. Should make this a challenge, huh?
I like a challenge.
Who gets cypher duty?
The chair's all yours.
I'm getting a Titan feel with the graphics.
Yes! So, find where they're making this garbage and shut it all down.
They're like more polished Titans.
Piece of cake, right?
Our expedition starts in the player's Strider. This is your forward base
Oh, I'm
of
so
operations.
buying this game.
Here
I
you
can
can
already
equip your
tell.
Javelin with a wide array of gear, weapons, and abilities, as well as customize your appearance to show off your own personal style and flair. In front of us, we have the Colossus. Jen will be our squad leader today, so Jen, let's jump in and get started.
I haven't played Destiny.
At the start
That
of
might
any
be a good thing for
expedition, we
me.
need to decide who we want to play with. Jen will be inviting 2 of her friends, but when you play the game, you will choose from your friends, guildmates, other like-minded individuals, or even go out and explore the world on your own. Now that our squad is formed, we need to pick our objective. This is the map screen, and as you can see, there are a lot of different activities to choose from. For today, we'll be playing the mission, Scars, and Villainy. Anthem
Kinda
is a
feeling a little
social,
bit of Warframe
co-op
here,
action
too.
RPG from BioWare, where you will join a group called the Freelancers. The Freelancers are the brave few who go out into the wild and face danger head-on. They can do this because they are equipped with powerful Javelin exosuits. These Javelins are handcrafted and passed down from generation to generation, allowing those who have them to go out into the wild and feel super heroic.
Promoting a giveaway. What are you talking about, Ruckus? Got here late. Were you promoting his giveaway or one of... Oh, when I give somebody's video a showing, it's proper etiquette to give a link and to ask people if they liked it to like and subscribe to it. If I was a YouTuber and I made a video and people were showing it and they didn't give me credit for it, I might get hurt. So you need it's just treating others the way you would like to be treated. So when I die, I get to go to heaven. That's what that is. That's God insurance.
Today we will play from Jen's perspective in her Colossus, a heavily armored battle exo that trades agility for massive firepower. As you can see,
You
her
tell me
2
that
friends
don't
have
look
joined
like,
us.
like a
Renata is
more
playing in the
polished
Ranger,
Titan.
a faster moving javelin with a focus on precision. Scylla is also playing a Colossus, but with a completely different loadout, one that focuses on close quarter combat, and we'll see his flamethrower a bit later on. He also has a totally different appearance with that sweet, sweet red speed stripe. Ours is an unfinished world, a world abandoned by its gods,
Fly
the
around.
Shapers. It's also a reactive world. Here you can see our jets
Oh,
are
it's more than
overheating,
a jump.
but we can
It's
fly
like a
through this
flight
waterfall to cool them off.
Owen, what's the plan here?
Picking up loads of scars nearby. Take a look around the area, but be careful.
Owen is our cipher and guide for the mission and will provide valuable intel.
I could do without the numbers. I don't like the numbers.
The
Gave me
Scars are
World of
relentless
Warcraft
invaders who
flashbacks.
crave the ancient power of the Shaper technology, and they're in a constant conflict with the Freelancers. Up ahead we have a Scar watchtower. Our squad should probably tread lightly here so they don't call for reinforcements. Oh, we could just blow it up.
Look at all the wyverns! Oh, and the turrets! Better move quickly. There is acid here, but not much. They've got to be making it farther in.
Right. Checking
Are
out
they
the Scar
stealing
camp some more.
assets? That's common practice in a lot of games, but usually not from big games. They don't steal.
Missions can be joined in progress through Freelancer reinforcements. Our 4th squad member, Catherine, is about to join us. Catherine joined us in the Storm, a glass cannon with powerful elemental attacks and light armor. Catherine was taking a nap at launch, and while all her friends level 30, she's only level 1. But that's okay, because in Anthem, friends of any level can play together to earn experience and great rewards.
Trail of this acid gunk leading down. Follow it, and we should find the source. Hang on, something isn't right.
I like this freedom of flight. Oh man, that looks good. I don't see how this is bad news. I mean, this is. But then again, I didn't really give Destiny a really
Okay,
good
so
look
that Titan
when it
was
came
way
out.
too powerful for our squad, at least for today, so it was wise to avoid him. But emergent world events just like the Titan can happen throughout the world of Anthem. And it's a really important point, because what it means is every time you go out and explore the world, you'll have a totally different experience that yields different rewards. By now you've probably noticed that traversal plays a really important role in Anthem. As you run, fly, and swim through, above, and below the world, you can discover some pretty amazing things. Like right now, our squad just discovered the secret underwater entrance to the Scar Stronghold. Strongholds are a 4-player mode that give greater rewards by taking on greater challenges. Once you discover a stronghold, you'll have access to it from your map at the start of any expedition.
That person's Storm's not even in a mech suit, and they're flying around.
Looks like the Scars have laid mines in this tunnel. Jen, show us how a Colossus deals with mines.
You must have like classes, like this is the warrior and the other one's the mage or
Combos are a
something.
really important part of group play. Using certain abilities together allows you to combo for extra effects like bonus damage. I feel a little bad for making fun of Catherine earlier, so let's see if we can have her set up a combo up ahead. Nice combo.
Oh, Storm's pretty powerful.
So
I
right
don't
there,
like the
Catherine
numbers.
called down a lightning storm, and
I
Jen
really
used her
don't like the
railgun to
numbers. Like,
combo for
even the
massive
font
bonus
of the
damage.
numbers unappealing.
There's a Shaper relic. Wait, something's odd. Get a closer look, would you?
Night has fallen in the world of Anthem, and the creatures that inhabit the darkness are out on the prowl. But honestly, that's a story for another day, because right now we have that giant thing to deal with.
I don't know what they've done to that relic, but it's getting worse by the minute. See those radiant pieces of energy? They're echoes from the Anthem of Creation. Return them to the relic. You've got to silence it fast.
This will be the first real challenge for our squad. We have snipers to the right, the Shaper interface below us, troops in the middle, and then all the way to the left we have those turrets. Our squad can approach this in a lot of different ways, but Jen, you're the expert, so over to you. Looks like Jen is sending our squad to hit the snipers first. In the top right-hand corner of the screen, you can see our objective is to find all 6 echoes and take them to the Shaper interface. So up ahead, Scylla has one on his back
What's
in
the
the
two white
Colossus,
dots
and
on
here
his
you can
back?
see Jen has 2. So Scylla just put 1 in. When we get these, and that'll be 3 out of 6, and we're halfway done. The only problem now is we have to go through those troops in the middle to find the rest. Jen used her railgun to knock that elite out of the sky.
Lots of scars headed your way. Watch out.
We can see the Rangers hovering in the top left, getting ready to do something. Looks like it might be, yep, Frost Grenade out. Jen's gonna use her multi-mortar for a big shatter combo. All right, good job, Jen.
It's the World of Warcraft I always wanted. I always wanted to have like a Gatling gun and laser beams
Okay, we cleared
and
out the middle. The
missiles
last thing left of these 2 turrets.
and
we
all
can
that
take them
kind of
head on or
stuff for the
flank.
monsters.
Looks like Jen's gonna try to brute force this first one.
Especially Grobulus. I hate Grobulus.
Okay, didn't quite get there. Gonna have to flank behind and hit those weak points.
Why do I hate the numbers? Why do I just hate the way they look?
Okay,
I
our
mean, they
squad's
just don't
now
look
cleared
right
out
to
all
me.
the enemies in this
They're
area.
too
The last
big
thing
or
left to do
something,
is get those 3 echoes and drop them off to silence the relic.
It's gone silent. Disaster averted. Do you think we get a bonus for... Wait, something's happening.
What the hell was that?
I think that was whatever laid all the eggs around here. The sound came from below your position.
With some pretty awesome teamwork, our squad was able to silence this relic. Relics are littered throughout the world, left there by the Shapers, abandoned and volatile. But for right now, the mystery of the Scar weapon is taking us deeper and deeper into this stronghold.
The Scars were using those eggs for something, making acid probably.
So the job's not done until we get rid of all the eggs.
On the plus side, this definitely counts toward hazard pay.
The environment seems to be changing. I have a bad feeling there are more than just Scars in this stronghold.
Not a lot of skills if you're just shooting with a gun, though. I don't see, like... Okay, there's some other moves. There's like a stun or something.
Strongholds are a long-form adventure, so in the interest of time, we're going to skip ahead in the action. Alright, Jen, let's show off some different weapons up ahead. Let's have Scylla in front with his flamethrower and have you support him with your grenade launcher.
There you go, they must have heard me. Oh, nice. This game looks old person friendly too. Doesn't look like
As you
need
play
to be
Anthem,
like
you'll
super
collect a
quick.
whole lot of loot. And loot plays a really important role in Anthem, not just because it makes you more powerful, but also because it allows you to create different loadouts to tackle a wide variety of different situations.
What is that? You're supposed to tell me.
Right. Just be careful.
Our freelancers just discovered an ancient Arcanist resonance. Interesting lore, items, and materials are scattered throughout the world of Anthem for you to discover and collect. By now you've probably noticed that our squad has some pretty awesome abilities. In particular, the Colossus has a legendary multi-mortar, and the Ranger has a legendary frost grenade. Loot comes in many different rarities, and legendary items are very hard to come by. If you get your hands on one, they have special bonuses that make you more powerful. And I have a feeling our squad's gonna need all the power they can get for what lies ahead.
That's big. Very, good luck.
Alright, so our squad has a lot of different things to deal with here. We have the smaller soldiers that if left unchecked will totally overrun our squad, and then we have the Swarm Tyrant herself. Now the Swarm Tyrant
Man, all
has 3
those
big sacks on
graphics
her back,
getting
and they're her
totally
weak
destroyed by
points.
those
Our
numbers.
squad has to focus on the weak points to cause massive bonus damage. Now, if Jen gets too close here, she'll take a lot of damage from the Swarm Tyrant's frontal attack, but if she tries to stay too far back, she'll get caught in her webs. Legendary multi-mortar right on that weak point is perfect. Looks like Scylla managed to light her on fire with his flamethrower, now she's taking a lot of extra damage.
Is this like totally like Destiny or something? I'm gonna have to watch some Destiny video to see what you're talking about.
Our squad managed to destroy one of the sacks, leaving the Swarm Tyrant vulnerable.
I like that. The rockets coming out of the back.
By using teamwork and focusing on her weak points, our squad has caused the Swarm Tyrant to retreat. Looks like she's called for help. Our squad has to take control of this choke point to make sure they're not overrun. What we really need is Scylla to get his flame wall out. There we go. Nice job, Scylla. Maybe a lightning strike here from the storm would be helpful. Awesome. And Jen, if you can do a combo here, it would be great. Maybe that multi-mortar. All right, looks like our squad now has everything well in hand. But the Swarm Tyrant is back.
It looks like the class has got about 3 or 4 abilities each, which makes it a lot less complicated for old people.
All right, Jen's got to get out of here. She's going to take a lot of damage. Nice. Silas set the Swarm Tyrant on fire again. Every
looks
Javelin
good.
has a powerful ultimate ability that can turn the tide of battle in your favor. But this battle isn't over yet. Thank you all for watching our live gameplay experience today. Anthem will be available on February 22nd for PC, Xbox One, and PlayStation 4.
I'm not 100% sure. It's not MechWarrior enough for me to instantly want to buy it. If it was like more about mechs and more mechs on top of mechs, I only saw like one mech and then a storm and a ranger and something else. So it's not really what I thought it was. But I'm so curious. Guess I gotta type in trailer.
We should have been there.
Well, this is awkward. You got a gun I can borrow?
This is not your fault.
She looked like a demon hunter.
Any last words?
Definitely a demon hunter.
How's your sister?
For our fire team. For Cade. This is on the head of Aldrin Sov.
My friends, my barons, go unleash chaos.
The three of us want the same thing, Spider. Aldrin and his barons. Dead.
I cannot wait to see how this ends.
I thought Destiny was like a multiplayer.
We are not conquerors.
Battle game.
To keep our eyes on our home.
I know it was a single player thing.
This is Cade we're talking about. For us to do nothing is...
Say it.
Cowardice.
I refuse to bury any more friends.
You won't have to. Aldrin Sov is mine.
How many people in a instance? So 6?
This is to be a reckoning.
I bet you Anthem's, that's how they're different. They got more people because Anthem's in an MMO.
Barren scheme.
You have no idea what
Not
he's
a
done.
co-op. So Anthem is going to be multiplayer.
Very thin.
Or this is co-op.
Do you know which side you're on?
We will take the reef by storm. All of us. Every Titan. Every Warlock. Every Hunter. If he thinks what he's done is the end, it's not. It's the beginning.
You gotta promise me. Put Aldrin in the ground. We have a deal.
Destiny 2 Forsaken, available September 4th. Play the all-new hybrid game mode Gambit. Free 24-hour trial begins Saturday.
I thought Destiny 2 has been out for like 2 years or something already. It says it's coming out on September 4th. Oh, it means just a little while ago. This must be an expansion. Huh. What I got here? Um, that might. See if she works. See, these games, I install them on my network, so they're not really in my computer. They're like in a hard drive in a box. I'm gonna try to push it through my network. I don't know if it's gonna work. Just want to test it out before I go to bed. See if I can play like this. But I'm looking for the game I want to play and I don't see it. I don't see MechWarrior on here. Damn. They didn't even install it. Right. Let me try Far Cry 5. We'll test it out, see how the graphics look. A cache server. I have not made an internet cache server yet. No. What I have is a Synology NAS system that I put like $2,000 into, and it's a bunch of hard drives, and yes, it does have cache. Oh, it's got a 4-core in it. It's got RAM in it. It's like a little computer. The server. Yeah, it's a, I don't know, it's a server box with a bunch of hard drives in it. 40 terabytes. And it's so fast I can use it like a regular hard drive because I'm not really waiting all day for this game to load. It seems to load just fine. Let's go check on Kim. Special delivery. Any vehicles around? How's this stream look? Is it stuttering or anything like that? I mean, it should look really good, but sometimes there's problems. No, I'm playing right from the drive itself. I don't have to install anything. The games are inside that box, and I can go to any computer in my house and just play the game without having it inside my computer. So with 40 terabytes, I can build this great big huge game library. And then I'm going to put it all into like a launcher so everybody can see the games and stuff. The way I can tell if it's micro stuttering or not is if I do this and just watch the grass. If the grass doesn't pause, then it's not stuttering. That's what I've been using to tell. The grass that sways back and forth. We're gonna check on Kim here.
Where the fuck is Nick? Oh,
Holy shit, she's pregnant.
what's going on, Kim? Where the fuck have you been? Oh, give me your hand. Our little girl has decided it's time.
No. Nick Jr.'s not due for another week. Ow, Kim, you hurt my hand. You hurt my hand.
We gotta get into the car.
Come on. Oh, ow. You are so strong. Okay. Hey, Deputy, you're driving.
Let go! Oh, God. Oh.
It's in a raid. It's a SHR raid. It's a special kind of raid for Synology devices that lets you put any types of hard drives in the raid. Mix and match hard drives.
You're gonna be okay. The deputy knows how to drive.
Just drive.
Okay, she taught me some stress-reducing breathing techniques. Ow!
Yeah, it looks like it's working really good, man.
Make a right. All right, everybody out.
Hurry up!
Hurry up. I'm going. Damn pregnant lady. I hope I'm going the right way. The yellow thing keeps changing.
Watch the pigs! Who cares about the goddamn pigs?
burn. Ow, my hand.
It keeps changing. Oh, what the hell?
You got this, honey. You're doing great.
I'll show you. I'll definitely show you.
What am I doing? Like, am I being...
Now, don't ask me how or why I didn't know these things existed. But I didn't know all the stuff that they could do. Because I can move my website that you see here. I can put my website on it. I can put like TeamSpeak on it. I can do my iCloud on it. I can basically load all my songs to it and use it like Spotify. And see, I can pull all this stuff up on my phone too, which is crazy. You know that thing that Board Gamers trying to push, that Shadow, where you can game from the computer through the remote access? I can do that with my own equipment. Oh, wait a minute. We want YouTube. No, it's not a RAID 5 or a RAID 6. It's does it differently to where you can mix the drives. Okay, this is the unit that I got. It's a 4-bay NAS, and I got 4 10-terabyte drives in it. And then this is it right here. On the bottom of it, I got 2 M.2 sticks. I got 2 512s in there. So I have 1 gig of super fast cache for my 4-drive RAID.
It's finally time to take a look at our DS918 Plus. Every time I sit down and want to make a video, I'm like, there's just too much to cover.
His name's Logan. I'm going to link to him if you want to be informed about tech and have a really funny person to watch. This is your guy. I think they have a record too. They actually got.
Cover. It's overwhelming. So in this video, I'm going to cover the specs, tell you what this unit is, and then we're going to look at the software. It's going to be a few minutes longer than a normal video, but you really want to stay tuned for the software at the end. Right now, I want to tell you that it's more than just a box with a bunch of hard drives in it. There's a lot of NAS units out there in the market. You can build your own. You can buy one from several different companies, but this device
Yeah, it starts out like you pay $500 for this box. But then each one of these hard drives I put in there was $300 each. And then the M.2 sticks on the bottoms was $300 each. And then I bought a RAM upgrade, so I bought 8 gig of memory for it, which was another was like $250. Well, we'll just call it 300 just so we can multiply quickly. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's $2,100 plus the $500. I got $2,600 tied up in this thing.
to me is a lot more than just a bunch of junk inside a box. The main thing for us with Synology is the software package that comes on top of it. Because, I mean, yes, it's high quality, the build quality and everything is really high quality.
EVOs.
But you can go out and get something similar or build your own that's pretty similar in quality. So the main selling point with Synology, in my opinion, is the ease of use, the fact that it just works, their service, and the fact that everything on the NAS is yours. It's not communicating with the cloud. And the software that they've given us here sort of turns this into your own private cloud server with all of your own applications. Like we've got an Office suite and everything on here, all your photos, ability to access things, ability to share files with people just with one click. All that kind of stuff is built into this unit, and you don't have to worry about anybody looking over your shoulder or harvesting your data to use for marketing or some nonsense like that. So that's one of the main reasons that we've switched over to Synology. All right, so the DS919 Plus. Let's go through the specs real quick. We've got a quad-core Celeron in here. It runs at 1.5, but it can boost up to 2.3. And you can do 2 4K streams at the same time, supporting H.264, H.265, and all that sort of thing. It'll do that all on the fly. No worries with transcoding. Now you can get up to 8 gigabytes of memory in this, and we have 2 different memory slots, so you can populate it as you see fit. We put some of the 10 terabyte Seagate drives in here. These have a much better track record than their 4 terabyte drives, so
that's what I put
naturally,
in mine.
We're going to use that to get as much storage out of this as possible. Now you can expand this. It's a 4 bay, but you can get up to 9 bays with the expansion and just plug them all together. Also, one of the things that's really cool about the 918 Plus is on the bottom there's an option where you can get a couple of NVMe SSDs, M.2 NVMe SSDs, and put those on the bottom and use those for caching. And setting that up is as simple as going into the interface and being like, yes, use the NVMe for caching. I mean, it's like, after doing this manually with other systems and pulling my hair out and being like, I really just want to get back and make my game, the ease of use on this is pretty ridiculous. It's hot swappable. On the back, you've got 2 gigabit Ethernet ports, and that's going to be nice if you want to do, maybe some teaming like lag teaming and get dual gigabit coming out of there. Or if you wanted to, you can just use one as a failover. As far as the different file systems you can use, well, you got
That's another thing I did. I hooked up both of the NICs, because it's got 2 NICs coming off of it, into my router. My router supports binding, so instead of having a 1 gig connection to and from it, I have 2 gig. So if I have one computer downloading from it and another computer downloading from it, both computers will still get 1 gig service, which is awesome.
BTRFS and also EXT4. I would probably
and that's why I
recommend
was
using
able to
BTRFS
stream
and then using
and bring
Synology's
the game to my computer
RAID
at the
technology
same time.
instead of using the regular RAID. But if you want to use regular RAID, you can. You got RAID 0, 1, 5, 6, and 10. You can also do JBOD if you like. Synology Hybrid RAID is what we're using on ours, and that's their own RAID technology. I like it. It's similar to the regular RAID, except the fact that you can use any combination of drives you like, and it'll just make one big data pool. I mean, throw a Seagate in there, throw a Western Digital in there, just grab a bunch of hard drives, throw them in this unit, and then use their hybrid RAID technology. BTRFS, you can do snapshots and be happy. The dimensions of this unit, 166 by 199 by 233 in millimeters, and it's 2.8 kilograms. That's without the hard drives in there, of course. You've got 2 92 millimeter fans in the back.
So what does that cache actually do? 'Cause it is fast. I ain't gonna lie to you, because I don't think it was doing anything for the video game though. But a lot of people tell me that they think that the cache made it faster, but it's to my understanding that after something goes through it like 10 or 12 times, it'll remember that file because it's been accessed 10 or 12 times. But that game I just played, that's just some random game that I never played before. So that was first time through, so the cache wouldn't have done nothing to it, the way I understand it. So it's only files that get repeatedly pulled go into the cache. But the thing is, it's fast as lightning, dude. I swear to God, I do file transfers from one computer to another at like 400. Which is crazy.
and it's nice and quiet, 19 decibels. So you can actually put it on the shelf and not have to worry about much noise. 100-watt power supply on the inside. So they get some good technology there with the drives like chilling out and sleeping and all that sort of thing. Now guys, we're going to go through some of the apps on this. I'm going to show you around our version of this NAS. You can change the desktop background. It's got a really nice desktop and all that sort of thing. But if you guys want more details on all of the software, we made a video where we went and checked out the Synology event in New York City. Please click on the description to watch that entire thing. If you guys are like in the market for Synology or just curious about that, go ahead and click on that and it'll give you all the information. But now let's cut over to my desktop and check out this unit that we have. This is your DSM desktop. This pops up. You can close it wherever. This is just your little help window. Now, if you're familiar with Linux, you're instantly going to be like, oh, some of these things are interesting. For instance, the package center. Very, very similar to a lot of the package managers you see out there on Linux distros. This one has stuff that is geared for this NAS. And you guys can come on here and grab new bits of software
WordPress
to run on your
mine.
NAS, and it's extremely easy. That's one of the things I liked about this is there's just really no fuss. So when you first
like
off,
all the stuff that I
start,
was
you have like your
paying
recommended
services
section,
for,
and I'll go through a
when
few of these
it's
things that we have
all
installed. You can view everything.
I won't have to pay for nothing.
A lot of developer tools and that sort of thing. Now, you can run things in Docker right here, so you can pretty much run anything and just enclose it enclose it that way, not worry about it. So, all right, let's just go through some of the stuff we have installed. I'm not going to cover everything in this video. If you guys want to see everything, you need to go watch the video where we cover all the new stuff in 2018. The link is in the description. Let's check that out. Resource monitor is very handy. We're also not really going to cover backup, but you have a ton of backup options here. So your control panel, you can go here to set up users and groups, and you can have group folders on the NAS, set up different share folders and that sort of thing. QuickConnect makes it super easy to access your NAS from anywhere else in the world. All you have to do is just go to quickconnect.to, then the name of your NAS or whatever, and you're connected to it. It's really, really simple. Use your name and password to log in after that. Then you can configure all sorts of different options for external access. You guys can set up DDNS, and I'll make a video showing you guys how to do that. You can use Synology server, and then you have all these different Synology URLs. So it'll be like whatever the name of your NAS is, .synology.me, and then you can access this externally really, really easily. So you guys can set that up, or you can use any of your favorite DDNS services, and this is going to help you if you don't have a static IP, but you want to be able to connect regardless of your IP address. And then check this out. You can come in here and configure your router, and you can set it up for all sorts of different things, and it will do the port forwarding for you. So first off, it'll come and detect your router. All right, so this will actually go and look and see what kind of router you have. We've got a couple different routers here. One's a DHCP server, so we're not really worried about it. Also, I don't have PMP enabled, but you can do that. But it'll work regardless. So here's our stuff. Check this out. You can come in here and select your router firmware. Like what router do you have? It's got a huge database, including third-party firmwares like WRT, Tomato. So lots and lots of options here. So pick your router on the list, and then you can actually see which protocol you want to use here for whatever you're setting up. And then you can enter your router credentials right here. And once you do that, you come in here. Let's say you want to create a new external connection. You can do that. Select the type of connection you want to set up, and it will forward the ports for you. So really, really easy to set that up. Now you guys can run this as a DHCP server as well if you want even more control. We have a firewall built in that you can turn on. Security, all kinds of different things. May as well enable that firewall. Keep things nice and secure. Select your interface. We do have the dual, LAN ports. And then you can install your own certificates right here. So if you wanted to have those locally, this can be really handy for a lot of different things. So here you can set up your file servers. It's really easy. Set up your FTP, TFTP, whatever. I'm not using FTP, but you can set up, SFTP down here. It's like SSH, all that cool stuff. rsync is also available. So you can keep things backed up one-to-one. Really, really easy to do. So there's all your options there for file syncing. And then you can set up your different shared folders. These are going to become your shares, like on your NAS when you open it up. So those basically are, the different shares you're going to have to set up and map, whatever. So we have all these. Some of them we don't really need, but All right, so there's a few more of the applications here. So if you guys want to monitor stuff, you can monitor everything from your disk groups here. Don't have any. There's our different volumes. There, we're using Synology Hybrid RAID. Hybrid RAID is great because it'll work with, any combination of drives, even though we're using the same drive, but I like what they're doing. Also, we've got BTRFS going on here. So there's our disks hanging out of there. Seagates are awesome. You can monitor your LUNs. We don't have any iSCSI LUNs, of course. We're not doing anything that crazy just yet. And then our SSD cache we have not turned on yet, but that's...
Now, mine's a quad core. Now, when you have a quad core unit and you buy the memory upgrade, like I did, you can literally go, because you only need 2 cores to run the NAS and everything that I'm doing. There's like, I got like double the power that I need. So I can take 2 of those cores and let's say 8 gig of my RAM, and I could basically make a 2-core 8 gigabyte RAM Windows install inside the NAS. So I would have a working Windows 10 inside here, and I could have that whatever program I want running inside that Windows 10. It's called a virtual machine, and I could do Linux instead. I could do iOS in there. I can do any type of OS. I can run it inside of here. So it's not actually running on there. It's running like inside, let's say, a folder inside here.
I'm going to plug in and turn on. Should have that already ready to go, but it's so easy to just set that up right here without any fuss. Now we have a few different ways to do backup. You have the hyper backup, but you also have snapshots if you're using BTRFS, and it's really powerful and awesome. I can make a totally separate video about that. I'm doing a lot more than building a streaming channel. Replication here, and it does not eat up a ton of hard drive space. Audio Station is something I really love. This maps to your
like
audio
a little
folder.
Community, because I got
like access this from anywhere,
a fleet the size of.
So now you have access to all of your music.
I would
so that's
need
really
300
cool.
people
And
to
you can
fill up all
also
my
set
ships.
this up to work with UPnP and that sort of thing. And one other thing that's really cool is you can also give access to this
200 to 300
per user. So of course the admin has access, but
a little heavy.
You know, if I want other people to have access to this, so they can stream
Pioneer's
music,
pretty big too.
Sure, I can go in here and be like, okay, yeah, you've got access. All right, Download Station is basically a download manager. You pick your folder, but it doesn't just work with regular files. It can also work with torrents. It looks like a little torrent application, but it works with everything. It downloads things directly to your NAS, so you can set up a whole bunch of downloads, turn off your main rig, and they'll all be working right here in the background on your NAS. Media Server and Video Station are pretty cool. Video Station is an interface that's going to be familiar to people who like, you know, Plex Media Server and that sort of thing. I don't really have a lot of, you know, I'm mostly playing video games, so I don't really have much media. But yeah, you can set it up, throw all your stuff on here, put your movies, your TV shows.
Yes, I can install this. I recognize the icon.
In a recent video in the free software series, I showed you VirtualBox, which is a free and open source solution to be able to run other operating systems virtually on your PC. In this beginner's guide, I'll show you how to set up and use VirtualBox. In addition, I'll also show you how to install and run Ubuntu, which is one of the most popular of the Linux distributions. Coming up on Tech Gumbo.
So, what do people use these virtual machines for? Like, what could I use it for? That's basically my question. I understand I can do it, and I bought the hardware to do it. But what's the pot at the end of the rainbow? Testing
what is
stuff, I know that.
You may have heard of the terms
besides that,
virtualization software, hypervisor, or virtual machine. Basically, what the software does is that it allows an entire operating system, which I'll refer to as the guest, to run on another operating system, which I'll refer to as the host. There are several reasons why you would want to run a virtual machine on your computer. Some of those might include you need access to software that is not available on your host operating system. For example, being able to run Windows software on Mac or Linux. having access to multiple operating systems simultaneously, or you're just curious about trying out another operating.
I wonder if I could put MAME on it and I'd be able to play like Pac-Man on my phone and stuff at work. That'd be a good experiment and a reason to try it. Put MAME on it. I could do that with Linux, because I think Linux is what Raspberry Pi's got. Well, Twister does need to go to bed, so we're going to turn the stream over to somebody. Time of Chaos, one of my favorite streamers. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm gonna get my stuff together real soon. Right now, I'm just doing 1 day a week because I'm setting up. I'll just give you an idea of why I'm kind of limited to 1 day a week before I leave. Like, I just got done building this. I'm getting ready to stick a 2080 Ti in it. I just got done moving it, and I'm gaming off of it right now. Then I moved my gaming PC, which is over here to the right, which is the i9, which I really built it for doing the encoding of the stream. That's why my stream looks pretty good, is because it's coming through on the i9. You see, this is the cockpit that I've been working on, trying to get it ready. And this is my i9 machine, and this is what's running the stream right now. Yeah, dude, I got a lot of hardware I'm fooling around with, trying to get everything hooked up so everything's perfect for you guys. And it's a lot of work, dude. It's seriously a lot of work. Plus, I have 10 terabytes of games. And I built this arcade machine to play the games on there for you. And this arcade machine has 10 terabytes of games in it. So seriously, I'm hooking it all up, and once it's all done and I can come home from work and just turn everything on and have it work and stream for you guys, that's what I'm gonna do. But I got to do all this work to get everything set up. I mean, I got like special effects and
damn, I can even change my voice on command.
All right, dude. Yeah, I'm getting ready to go to bed. Now that Noob's awake, I can go to bed. He's gonna make sure nobody kills me in my sleep. But yeah, back to it. We're gonna raid this guy. Oh. Okay, good night, guys. Stick around and watch this guy. He's really good. You guys will like him. I promise. Yep, prepare for the raid. Okay, good night, Noob. Take it easy. Talk to you tomorrow.
A lot of Queens building there. What? Oh, could have done without that.
Here we go.
Come over droning there slightly. Hey, Twister. Welcome, welcome. Yo, purr, meow, purr, purr. Thank you so much for the sub. That's very much appreciated. How are you doing? Shh. Yo, Dark Dom. Welcome, welcome, buddy. It's for my first game of the day, folks, so expect me to die. I'm not gonna, you know, awesome. Good, good. Thank you so much for that sub, Dark. Per meow. I really appreciate that. We'll raise a little bit of chaos in chat to celebrate. Oh, why am I directing everything there? Look at my overdroning. That's what I get. That's what I deserve. Quickly. The overdroning is real, folks. I mean, like, really? I've got about 1 million drones on one base.